HYP. That's the one, that's the first one he put there, but he also put others like HYPD and PURR as well. These are ETFs, according to him. And this looks pretty good to me. I don't know anything about it, so I'm not going to advocate for it or against it, but we know crypto. Let's just be honest about it. I'm not saying that that's what you're doing. We do know that there's a lot of pump and dump scams in the crypto world, so I don't know anything about this.
Here's the actual thing.
Say full disclosure.
So here's the actual hype USDT.
Yeah,
right
I'm looking at
bucks.
that. Hyperliquid ETF race heats up as Bitwise launches staking powered by BHYP fund. So there you go. You guys can, let me just load this up so you guys can pause it. And this is what the article reads if you want to read it.
Here, man.
Yeah, so interesting look here. All right, guys, it is 2 o'clock. It is time for me and Joey to take off. It's been fantastic being with you guys today. We're going to throw you up to Adara at the big desk before we send you to the boys for the afternoon show.
3 dirty words here are the takeaway from this FOMC minutes for April: higher for longer. So again, we know that we actually had 3 Feds voting against an easing bias being included in the rate statement. That's being reflected in these notes. Apparently, most Feds signaled that further tightening could be needed if inflation stays above 2%. So that does align with the probability of us getting some rate increases pretty soon, specifically at the start of 2027. Officials saying that elevated inflation, uncertainty around the Middle East, increasing energy prices and tariffs could require rates to remain, as I mentioned earlier, higher for longer. Though some Feds said that if rate cuts could potentially happen later this year should geopolitical tensions ease and we get a cooling in inflation. So leaning towards raising rates or keeping them as is, but saying there could be a cooling stance should things change a bit here. That's the Fed minutes in a nutshell as we send you back over to the guys.
All we need is luck around here. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, that was the meeting minutes. Great show there by Sharif. I actually really liked when you were at the board there with Luis. That was a good look. It was probably Ramin's brainchild.
No,
you know.
I came up with it.
Oh, it was yours. Okay.
But yeah, we'll give Ramin.
Yeah, we'll give Ramin some credit for that one. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. I'm only in IBIT. Oh, there it is. Fed sees majority warranted inflation persists. Yeah, so there could be this rate hike that all of us are not looking forward to. The market is absolutely on fire right now, up another 1.34% in the NASDAQ. And then there we go. We get this little warning shot from the Fed here on those minutes talking about a potential Fed rate increase. We're going to find out about that in just a matter of weeks. So that should be very, very exciting. But the thing is, if you're trying to learn 10 chart patterns at once, you're simply going to lose money slower than someone who masters just one. New traders, you do this consistently. They watch videos on flag patterns, wedges, cups, double tops, triangles, all of it. And they sit in front of the market and see all those patterns everywhere on every single stock. So what exactly are you looking for? They take bad trades because they're not focused. They don't know which pattern is the real one to focus on and the real one to use. Pattern overload is a real thing, and it's costing you money. There is one pattern, however, that every professional day trader that I've ever known has learned first, and that's the most stopped, not complicated. It's very clear rules. It's defined entry. It's a defined stop, and it appears multiple times every single day. The pattern is, Neil is going to teach you this pattern right now, right here in the next 5 minutes. Let's throw it back over to the big screen.
What would you rather be? You're going to have 2 surgeons going to perform surgery on you. One of them could be doing 10 different procedures 50 times, or the surgeon that does that same procedure they're going to do on you 500 times. I want the one that's done the specializations, put in the work. I mean, when I had my Achilles done, that's exactly what happened. You got to make sure you're a professional at that setup, and that's where it comes like the bull flag pattern. It is the one type of setup, and there's a couple, but this is the one setup where almost every trade I've seen has used it, has mastered it, where it's pretty defined risk, entries, and exits. All you gotta do is be able to identify it. And it really just starts from, what are you looking for? It's a simple concept. We always talk about the trend is your friend. One of the best things about this setup is it is a trend following setup. There's a pause. You got to be able to get in somewhere. So it pauses, and then you get the surge. You're going up, you pause, you surge. This is what everybody is going to be looking for in terms of an opportunity. Now, when you start to define this, it's really important. It's not just any up move. We're talking about an aggressive up move on whatever time frame you use, 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, daily charts as well. You want a clear, aggressive candle or possibly 2-3 sets of candles that are huge. They've got to be abnormal. Then you get an orderly consolidation. Now, sometimes you're going to be very downward sloping, slightly downward sloping. Other times you can even be sideways action. This is going to be key. It's more the consolidation that matters more than how much it's consolidating down or maybe even slightly up. It's that pause in the consolidation that you're looking for. You're also going to see number 3 here, volume dries up for confirmation. So you start to see liquidity and volume and the speed in the tape, if you're watching the tape, will start to slow up before you get that eventual breakout. Now I'm going to give you a couple of examples here because you got to look at the good and the bad when you're talking about a pattern in action. Now, one that was unbelievable, small cap or TE today, right off of the open, you can see the first candle is going to have a huge move up. Now, there's continuation on the second 3-minute candle, but they crest at the same peak. So there is your flag, clear, distinct, obviously headed to the upside. You're going to see a slight high made, lower high, lower high, lower high. Then we start to make a couple of lower lows. This gives you the clear flag pattern. What you're looking for after that is pretty simple. It's the breakout. There's your clean breakout. And when it comes to continuation, a lot of people will look at how much did we move in the original candle, and then you might look for that same target to the upside. Now it could continue. This would be an example of something that even after it broke the flag, you would have got that 1-to-1 on the pull, and then later on it does another pull back, another flag. Hey, there's bonus action for you, and breaks another one, which gets to the high. The key thing here is it's a trend continuation, right? If it loses this bid, you're out. When you enter here, if it loses the support, you're out. Defined entry, defined exit, and you're not fighting the trend. Now, this isn't always going to work out, and you have to be able to recognize that. You'll be able to see, we have a couple of big candles here. Here's a big one on IBIT. You get a very, very explosive move in what was an uptrend as well most of the day. You're going to get a bit of a channel down, and then it's unable to really hold. There is a break. There's a little bit of a break of that flag, but no follow through. None whatsoever. The good thing about this is you could either not be involved once this little wick happens, or if we get the break, you see the support, you're out before it completely falls apart. That's the key. When you see the flag set up, you have a support level to work off of. So the break either continues through or you're out for defined risk. And if we go back to the first example, remember the target you're looking for. If you have that aggressive opening candle or move in the flag, then you should have good defined risk so that you're making 1.5, 2-to-1, 3-to-1 on your trade, because it's not always going to work out. So you've got to identify those 3 phases. That's incredibly important for the flag pattern, but it's something that almost every single trader that I've ever looked at has done some form of it. And I'll give you one extra bonus. If you can also have that pullback where the flag gives you a move off of the volume weighted average price, you get a spike up, it flags down, and now all of a sudden you're bouncing off of VWAP and you're breaking a bull flag, well, they call that confluence, and that's a 2-for-1 right there.
The more simple, the easy to understand, the more repeatable it is. You only need one chart pattern to absolutely crush it every single day, and that was it. So rewind, review all of this. That's your one pattern that you need to be that successful trader, so let's go. All right, there it was, man. Good job there, Neil, on the board. And I think we always talk about things like that all the time. I mean, it's trying to rinse and repeat things. It's why we put out our notes every day. It's why we write down levels on the sticky note of what we're looking for, what we're trying to do. Key areas for support, for resistance, bull flags, all those kind of setups. Whatever pattern works for you, give this one a shot, and we're going to figure out if you can replicate that on a daily basis, because it does set up all the time. So that's part of that. And I think that if you guys go over to our YouTube page, you'll be able to find these posted. Follow us on Instagram and all of that as we edit those up and try to get some evergreen topics that, these patterns, they're not going to go away no matter, what's happening in the market, no matter what's being released. You can always find something that will work for you. Keep it simple, stupid is a very, very common saying. And I think that that's something that I didn't even have my banana yet today. There we go. Yeah, I actually forgot.
How are you going to just leave the banana?
I actually forgot that Randy.
Get the potassium.
Yeah, Randy had hooked this up. Over there.
Yeah, baseball is nice. So you expend energy. Then you expend energy.
Yeah, what am I even doing?
The banana's like a really good pre-workout as well. I find it's in the realm. But what's the go-to? It's that classic. Give me rye bread. Toasted rye bread, lightly toasted, not too heavily toasted. Peanut butter.
Oh, peanut butter.
Open face, peanut butter banana. So open face is the key for me. Like I never.
Then you don't have the double bread.
Yeah. I don't know that I was ever like my mom used to make the sandwich, and then when I discovered the open face, it's like 2 for 1 kind of action. Someone said to me, or I saw not said to me, but I saw someone say in the chat that the reason Nike had a program buy on it was. Well, look at the 15-minute chart.
Bruh.
Now, it was someone said in the chat that it was this KD Drake ad.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, I saw that. It's about a boot. There's a boot.
Yeah, he has the boot. First of all, it's hilarious.
Okay, I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah, the yes man hilarious. Is that true, or is there something else going on with Nike? Because it's a really funny ad, and obviously Drake is, let's be real, like he's in the news this week, so the timing is perfect on Nike's part. But I don't know, is this really the reason why it did it? Either way, I said to Obi, I'm like, if it does any kind of a reversal, I want to take a scalp short. And it did a topping tail, first red candle, and I want to play it back to about here, 43.6, which Nike, you could make some strong arguments that the bottom might be in. Like, look how, I wanted to zoom out so we actually got to the levels that we're looking at here, right? So we came into this level, there's your parabolic, now it zooms out and then it accelerates. So like now I have to zoom it back in a little bit here. Thank you, P Pro. Yeah, so it goes into this level and I'm just looking, break that and give one leg back down into the 43.6, which I left over there. No, what's crazy about this for Nike is look at the 42 bottom. I mean, 42 is just a good number in the first place. But is Drake going to be Drake and KD, I suppose KD deserves some credit. He's in the ad too. Like you can't just say it's all about Drake. Wow. Well, I mean, you can.
It is.
Yeah, it is, realistically. KD's awesome, and KD's an unbelievable, I actually think underrated player in NBA. Smoothest scorer that I've ever seen. No, but Nike holds the low for so long, you just need to kickstart it. Like sometimes you just need an excuse or something to kickstart it up because it can't get going on its own. This feels pretty good for Nike. I'm not saying this will be like a Sydney Sweeney, I mean, it's not gonna have that kind of a move. I don't think Nike has that kind of squeeze in it because it's not really heavily shorted like that. But I like this for a bit of a temp bottom breakout, at least to the 50 period on Nike. $47, why not? Yeah. It's time to maybe start thinking bullish about it. And even then, like, wow, if this puts it, like the second it starts putting in green candles again, like it might just be going. And this is why I want to temper expectations with it. Good for them. Mr. Nib says Lulu is being kickstarted today too. Oh, you know what? I would like the Nike move better if Lulu wasn't also up.
Oh, wow, Lulu is. Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Lulu's better.
Yeah, I would like it.
Who said that?
They're both up 3.8%. They're up the exact same percentage.
That was a nice one there.
That's a good bottom too.
Yeah. I mean, this one just kept going. So right now, Lulu's at good look there. Lulu's at the top. We were actually just talking about Lululemon today. I was saying how 120 to me on a monthly chart actually looked decent there for Lululemon. So again, we shout out to Canada, of course, Canadian company. All right, so we'll go over monthly rate. Well, I mean, now it's on the public markets, but yeah, there's that 120 going all the way back to 2019, 2018 there on the monthly chart. But I mean, look, you could always, like when it was at 180, you could have been like, oh, here it is. It's all the way back to 2020. And, then when it's right here, you're like, okay, now we're back. And now we're, okay, so maybe we don't know how far this is going down. That's why I feel like, honestly, when you sort of zoom back out on charts and you try to find and pick levels, it's just like, you're kind of just picking a needle in a haystack there because it's like recency bias. Like if it bounces off of it, you say, oh my God, look how obvious that was. And when it doesn't, you're like, well, obviously it didn't bounce there. So I think you just got to make sure that you understand what's going on. Like Nike here with FIFA World Cup and everything coming through, I feel like they should have already gone. upside. Nike's going to have a lot of advertising in the World Cup, which starts June 11th, so we're not too far away from that right now, about 2-3 weeks away from that. So, you know, Nike, yeah, with a nice little bounce there. ADI, I'm trying to find Adidas, IDY. No, I'll find out what it is, but just to compare Nike to another.
Is there an OTC for that?
Yeah, there is. It is on the OTC. That's why. I should know it. Normally, I do know what it is, but I've been here. ADID.
There's a hold on a second.
ADDDY. It's multiple D's. DDYY. There it is. So we'll have to check out what. $86. Okay, so maybe more of a. Let's see what this looks like on the chart. Okay, so it doesn't look like Nike. I mean, it's not all the way straight to the downside, but this is Adidas right here trying to get off the 50-period moving average. $82, so stuck in the middle right now, 50-period to 200-period. So it's not, you know, just an apparel story. I mean, this is actually trying to hold and battling back from the bottom. We'll see if it gets going, as opposed to where we just showed you what Nike's chart looks like. Target today hit some targets. I mean, I was talking about that short near that 200-period right there. That break happened real early in the pre-market. We never really got back up, and we say when there's a fade, when there's a gap, played a VWAP. This didn't really, you know, you could have tried to maybe do something in and around this area on that move up if you wanted to short it at that point. Use your 50-period moving average. Doesn't break it back to the upside until 118 there. And then obviously now with all these lines kind of all crazy like because it was such a dramatic move, you now do have VWAP trying to hold. There's the breakthrough. We came in, we bounced once off VWAP at 120.50 or so, all the way up to 121.50. Now you're trying to deal with this one more time. Because it's down, I actually think that we could break this. I think we're going to try to go short today on target on a break of 150. Okay, so sorry, 120.50. If it breaks 120.50, I'm going to try the short here on TGT. Okay, so that's going to be a level that I'm going to be looking at here in the afternoon. And then just to wrap it up on what I've been doing, this is the only trade that triggered, unless, I mean, I didn't check it out. I mean, all these other ones are low longs. Intel 111, that didn't hit for sure. Tesla 404, that didn't hit. TQQ 73.50 almost hit. But IBIT 43.50 hit twice. So there's IBIT 43.50, boom. That was a big one. This was even bigger. When it came back in, we filled exactly 53s. What do I have now? 54s. So that was that trade here. Goes to the upside. We didn't have anything there at 44. We probably should have. That's okay because we get it back again as it comes back up, out on VWAP, out there into this area, out on the top, out at the top of the day, out again on a bump to the 25 period. So looking for some more outs here on IBIT. But that's the only position that I have on right now, the IBIT, as you know, IBIT and Bitcoin 77.5. And we just basically wrote down, I thought 76 and change was holding. So it looks like today it does. The NASDAQ obviously helping out all the way to the upside. And there's Nvidia slowly grinding, trying to grind a little higher right now, up 1.73%. It's not AMD, it's not Marvell, it's not ARM, it's none of those today. We'll wait to see there's AMD up 8%. It's the reaction that we're going to look for after markets. Yeah, apparently it's been changed to 420. So I'm hoping then it gets brought down to 410. Join the three of us live tonight with NVIDIA earnings. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us all evening for NVIDIA earnings.
Yeah, absolutely. And stay with us right now for the next hour, brought to you by Origenics, ticker OGEN on the NYSE American. They've got some updates because they've activated its phase 2A clinical trial in Australia with its first site fully operational and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury, an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Origenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution. With clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation, that's OGEN. You can find them on the NYSE, the NYSE American. And if there is a theme today in terms of what is up the most, well, get out of here, Rivian.
Yeah.
You completely ruined. See, now Rivian just ruined this visual of like the stocks on my watch list where it's all like our chip and AI names. It's ARM 13%, SMCI 10.5%, AMD 7.4%, Intel 6.6%, Marvell 4.6%. Get out of here, Rivian. What are you doing being up 4%? And then Micron 3.8%. Boeing, you get a pass because you've been having a rough time. PanW in there. But it's all the chips. Notice the name that's not there. NVIDIA. because we're not expecting as crazy movement out of Nvidia. They're just too big, right? Like it's, you know, like you're pushing a much bigger rock boulder up the hill if you're, for whatever reason. It's always a weird analogy. Nobody pushes boulders up hills, or well, why would you even be doing that? But if you are, obviously if one is 5 tons and another one is 1 ton, well, it's going to be a little easier to push the 1 ton one up. You're still not going to want to do it in the first place. A little dangerous on the way down, which applies for tonight too. What was I going to say about Rivian?
You were just saying how it was up for once.
Yeah, it's...
Tesla's up 2% too.
I'm thinking, I don't know, it's, nah. Rivian still feels like it has a little bit of a ways to go. Decent up day, but look at this. It's still kind of trending down. You still got support down here, which is closer to $10 or $11. So I wouldn't be getting terribly excited about Rivian just yet. But yeah, still a good day. Like some people were buying it, I suppose. There's a lot of stocks that were like, Nike, if it's only gonna go, like see that parabolic candle? Like that's the first big move on trend. It goes right into that and already buyers. I'm not letting this get past break even. I'm actually gonna move it. Like the weird thing about this is like it's such a tight entry on the trend line break that the stop was only 5 cents. So now moving it to break even makes sense here. And Nike's just been, you saw Lululemon, you've seen Nike. I think there's just relief rallies to the left of them and to the right of them today. So it might not even be that Drake thing. Maybe some credit to it, but I'm less inclined to believe that it was the Drake ad if Lululemon is making the same move. I would think that maybe it's just something a little bit more specific to the sector, right? And a lot of times that'll break the tie for you. Like if this was special to Nike, then the continuation like tomorrow for the long, I'd like more, right? Like I'd rather see Nike up 4% if Lulu was flat. Seeing Nike up 4% and Lulu up 4%, it's good, but it's even better if it's only Nike, is the best way to think about it. One name that is not participating as much as, well, this afternoon, it's up to more than anything else today, is ARM. Like the markets, I mean, and some of these chip names are doing better than others, but I feel like ARM has gone to sleep off of the 250 level. Still absolutely fantastic. Love this one long term, love what it's doing in the daily, love the bounce off the 200 level, everything perfect about it, but it's got some exhaustion. If there's one name that stands to drop, and this is probably low-hanging fruit to say this, the most, if NVIDIA has some kind of a miss somewhere, these guys are near the front of the line, if not at the front, just based on the move that it had today and what this has done so recently. And you know, we were just talking about bull flags, weren't we? Mm-hmm. Bull flags on multiple time frames. And remember with a bull flag, there's no, you know when you see those drawings when you just look something up on like, whatever, like you Google it, or I guess nowadays you go into Gemini or Grok or whatever it is that you're using, and it'll show you like this is the picture of a bull flag. The more important thing is big up move consolidation. It could be like a pennant, it could be like an upward trending, little upward trending flag. The point is a consolidation that breaks. That's the idea. It's the concept behind it and what it means that you should care about more than whether it looks exactly like the pattern in the textbook. Because that's fugazi. It never looks like when people show like the W pattern or the head and shoulders, it never looks exactly like the textbook. And if you're waiting for it to look like that, then you miss the point of it. Like the W pattern's about, you know, multiple, like a double bottom with like a little triple top action, like resistance in the same spot, you know, that kind of a thing. That's all you're looking for.
New position alert right now. We just took it. We told you we were going to take it. We took it. There it is, breaking down target. So we're in this name right here. It's funny because like on my chart for e-signal, I had view up at 80s there. So that's 79. So that's kind of where I triggered in on target. And I know it's on, I don't know what it is on all your guys there, but sometimes when there's an earnings name or something reports, sometimes our view ups are just a little bit sensitive to, I actually don't even know why. Sometimes it's off just a little bit, but it breaks anyways right there. So if you're in it, it's not too far off the price that I had anyways. This view up is around 60 right there. So I looked at it and I was comparing notes and I was like, okay, I want to get this short anyways. So we're short right now at 70. It just printed when it broke. We got, yeah, see now it's coming back up. I didn't even have a bid there. I was listening to the bull flag stuff and just I didn't realize it was going to drop through, but we're in the short now. I was going to give it right into the 50 period moving average. there. So if we call down our E-signal chart on a 1-minute chart as well, it's the same kind of level, 21. I was actually giving it to this little area. Let me see if I zoom in and help show you guys. Right into here, 120, 135s or so to the downside there on target. We'll see if it wants to give a little bit back upside, give up some of that upside today on target. I'm bidding right now 40s. So if it does come in, 45s, if we do get a little bit of a whoosh down there, that's 43. So we're short now into target, breaking through VWAP. And again, on a name that's down 5%, it could battle back. I mean, it did have a decent day after its sort of initial move down. We've been battling back, and it's, maybe it's not right. We just talked about what was happening there with Lulu and Nike. Maybe there is something about that trade today. But I see you see one of my favorite names up there.
Well, it's funny because once you start talking about a pattern, it's not that they show up everywhere, but you know what? Here's one of the reasons you're going to see a lot of bull flags. Like here, just going to condense, this is the chart of the Qs, right? Like you get up all morning, pull back. It's not a perfect bull flag, but the overall pattern of up and consolidate in the market is going to lend itself to you seeing this. But then there's going to be some clean ones. And on BBAI, on the 15-minute, and remember, if it looks like it on the 15-minute, then to me, your entry is on the 15-minute. You know, like if it doesn't look like one on a 3-minute, then don't trade it on the 3. So I want to see this close, like breakout on the 15. If you can do that in the 230 candle, then this looks like a nice continuation long. And then sometimes when you're looking at this, one of the things I would say is in the morning, it's great because you have all day for it to continue. But in the afternoon, sure, it went 25, 30 cents to the highs, but it's not a guarantee that you have enough time for it to get that far. I just look at some resistance levels up here, like 425, this 420 area. So yeah, BBAI I'm going to throw up on the side chart in addition to the Nike, which goes right back to our entry and is still holding. So I'm gonna get more out here if it gets into this 44 again, just to make sure we're taking some more off. So I'm not gonna re-enter because we still got a piece, and this has been a bit of a beast, but it's basically the same price we got in. But I want to get some out back at this 44 support when it comes down.
We're starting to do some kind of damage here. Not huge, though, but there goes target. So now we're 30, 40 cents in the money now on target if we get this bid. We just took a couple fills down there. We took one, I told you, at 40. Well, I guess it was 45, and then we just got a 35. So far, so good here to the downside of TGT. Once we broke it, there goes the trade. So I'm probably now, we've taken some out. We're only out of about 15% right now. We'll see if we want to get a little bit lower. Let's find a target out for us right now. So there's a lot of sort of, that's 120 flattish. We could put where am I bidding? I'm bidding 120.30 for a little bit more. I'm going to put something down there at 120 flat. See if I'm going to cancel that 30 fill and see if it comes back in a little bit more. But yeah, target, looking for this little area of consolidation. Maybe that's a 120. So then if we get below that, then we can sort of figure it out after that. But
I had that target assassin button, but I can't see it anymore.
Well, it's a good. I mean,
you know the one where it's like, the one I'm talking about.
Isn't it just a pew one? That one?
Yeah, but it has
a target.
It has the crosshairs.
Crosshairs.
That's what I'm thinking about. I just messaged Fabian. Why don't I have that anymore?
Exactly. Well, you just got to let us know what the number is.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Okay, so that's that. It doesn't look like, I don't know, we'll have a dare back in a minute, but I don't think there was much going on with that Fed number that came out there, right?
Oh, the meeting minutes?
The meeting minutes. There never really is. And you can see here with the market, especially the NASDAQ. I mean, we came out at 2 o'clock right here, and not much going on. Although there was talk, of course, about FOMC. I'm going to call up the minutes or call up the Fed rate tool in just a couple seconds here to find out exactly what's the expectation here moving forward. I don't think it's going to be a super exciting Fed rate, but you know what? The thing is that it's going to be the first one with Warsh. We're now 27 days away, and it's actually trying to promote, it looks like, a cut rather than a raise right now. So we're pretty standard where we are at 350 to 375. And as you move forward, still trying to figure that out in July. If we go all the way to December, this is where we're looking like we're going to have rate hikes. So in December, it looks like we're about 40% for a quarter-point hike. And if we go all the way out a year from now, June of 27, this is where it looks like 1, possibly 2, or none. So we have rates, although always talked about, always on our mind, it doesn't really look like for now there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of movement with all this. That's your current rate right there, 96%, 99% it was yesterday. So for some reason today, we got a little exciting there, and you talked about maybe the bond yields and stuff like that, but now a little bit of a chance of a rate cut. I think the market would fly, obviously, if we got a rate cut for rate now. But you know, we don't want to have too many of them. We don't want to signal that there's any problems.
I mean, the bond market's
but
not exactly screaming exuberance.
Yeah. So,
even a little bit.
That's something for, you know, I mean, I don't, when I trade, I'm just looking at levels and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, as far as when we're talking about macro things.
That's more for like reasons to take some stuff off. Like I don't think, like I look at, what was I trimming? CrowdStrike.
Oh yeah, I was gonna trim some ARM, as I mentioned.
You know, looking at whether you trim ARM or
I don't have that much in it.
Like Crowd, like look at Crowd again today, man. Like it's just another press. Like it's gonna be 650 at some point. And then you look at what's going on with the bond market. The bond market doesn't usually have it absurdly wrong for too long, and like the 30s at levels that it hasn't seen since 2007. Nothing bad happened after that. Right?
No, not at all. No,
everything was fine. No, I'm joking. I don't think we have another financial crisis.
Perfectly fine.
At all, but oftentimes you see that it's like, okay, well maybe that's not a bad time to take some opportunities to get out. Someone just said in the chat, look at the IWM, the Russell. Well, see, now the problem usually with, it was IWM, right? It was, shoot, who was asking me? Yeah, it was IWM. Like usually you would think, all right, if by the end of the year people think rates are going higher and we're not going to have a chance of a cut, that's going to be bad for the small caps. But this is an everything rally here today. You could still make the argument that even this bounce here now is setting up a head and shoulders, so this could, you know, that could get confirmed, I suppose. Like you have your head, there's your shoulder, doesn't have to be the exact same spot, but it's still in a very good upward trend. But like if I owned the IWM, this is exactly the kind of thing where, hey, if you get back to the highs and sentiment hasn't really changed and the Fed rate tool still telling you the same signals, yeah, there's nothing wrong with looking for a trim. But if you're looking for like a head and shoulders pattern to set up, it's just starting one now. Like I think the short-term like selling off the highs has pulled, and let's see what happens at 280. You break out the 280, and there's a nice gap fill to 285. If you can't break out this 280, which would be around that shoulder, then you know, the shorts might feel a little bit more confident coming into tomorrow. Today ends up being a good day, no rounded bottom, but there's still step two. Step two is taking out the next level. So many other stocks are actually taking out the next level. Then you got to make sure that if you're in something that's lagging, can it get through that spot? So remember I told you, going to give it to the break even. On Nike, I just don't feel like this is, like that's not the hill, like it's a trend break, but it's not the hill to die on. You take the win and what it can give you. And I could have made an argument here when I kind of up doing that lesson. Like if I was putting a trailing stop in, you could just say trend in, trend out, which is a line that I like to use. Like there's your trend down from the top, there's a bit of break of that trend, and you can get it all out there instead of leaving it for break even. So that's one way that you could play it. BBAI's volume is not really that appealing, to be honest with you. I like the setup on BBA, but it's not really doing it.
You are welcome, Kyle. It's just 60 cents. It's just 60 cents. Well, okay, here we go, Target. Come on, man. Break yourself. We have half left. So let's see if we can get down through here, 120, and see you later, alligator. As we get to the downside here for TGT. We talked about this would be a good little area to get some out. So there we go. You are welcome, my friend. And there it goes to the downside. We're just sitting here, man. I mean, I traded four names today. I traded Google early. It was really good. And I wish I would have just cashed it all out when we were really rolling with it. And then it fell back in a couple more minutes right after that. So that one didn't work out too well. IBIT has been another one. So that's a good one. Well, props up for IBIT there today. NVIDIA is my #1 cash register on the day, and that's because we went long on this break right there. And I'm most proud of this. Well, the Target one I just explained to you guys as well, but this one we waited for probably about 30 minutes or so, honestly. It broke at 10:04, let's call it about 20 minutes or so, waited for this little level to finally build and then break. So that was a really good one, man. We actually hit that one with a decent amount of shares. And then here goes Target to the downside here again. So yeah, we're gonna go 3 for 4 there today, and it's been a pretty good one. We'll see if we can continue that mojo. Okay, continue that mojo here as we get a little lower. What's up, Adara?
I mean, what's not up is USO, Sean. I was trying to think of how to transition that, and I couldn't. Keep an eye here on USO, getting some comments from Iran. Again, guys, bear in mind, Iranian state media and or Iranian leaders, so make of that what you will, but I'm getting comments from Iran's President Pezeshkian saying that, quote, Iran has always upheld its commitments in pursuit of every possible path to prevent war. They see all options as remaining open, but they're also saying that any attempt to force Iran into surrender through coercion, quote unquote, is nothing more than an illusion. So in addition to those comments from Iranian President Pezeshkian, we've also got reports from Tasnim News Agency. This is an agency that is affiliated with the IRGC, so just be aware. They're citing a, quote, informed source and saying that the Islamic Republic has received the proposed text from the U.S. through an intermediary and is reviewing it, but has not yet responded. So looks like negotiations continue between the U.S. and Iran. Back to you.
Yeah, I remember oil futures would have just closed. The U.S. will still trade, remember. Oh, what's happening at the bottom? U.S. will still trade, but oil futures, you might have seen a small volume spike a couple of minutes ago. That's all it would have been at 2:30, and it is trending back into the downside. I just went over to like my watch list. Sorry, quote board. It's not really a watch list is like the curated what we do in the morning, where you have a small number. The quote board, which has like everything on it, I went through all of the names at the top to find some trend line breaks, and the second one on the list is giving one, but I didn't get quite there fast enough. So it's broken the channel, but I want it here if we can. And I like to look at it from either the break of the morning range high. If it's an all-day trend, great. But the morning range, break the morning range, and the first dip after 10 o'clock comes in here, and then hold higher low, and then you break it there. Like you just want to find somewhere. It can be a channel like that breaks up. It can break down. You know what? This is the other thing. Like it's a consolidation break. You can just call it whatever you want. Like you can call it a trend break. You can call it a consolidation break. The name doesn't really matter. It's different behavior that causes you to want to get into the stock. That's all it is. So SMCI up 9 points today. I'd feel less good about their move up than most of the other names that are up like 5 to 10% in the space. Just because they have their own set of, I suppose, troubles and concerns, whether it's legal, whether it's just reputational, for sure. The thing is too, like if there's an AI bubble that bursts, it's like, well, what's the stock that less people are going to like? And you've got resistance here. It has yet to even break this mid-30s. So a little bit of a reason why I'm never that big of a bull on SMCI. And if it happens to curl here, I want to see if I can pick up 50s, give it to that little trend top, and then work that into the volume weighted average price. Luis Suarez says, look at RCL. Why do we like Royal Caribbean? Maybe like hantavirus bounce? Is that what we're calling it?
Is hantavirus gone now, or?
Well, see, I don't know, man. I read something. Anyway, Pop sent it to me, and he's like, hantavirus doesn't transmit between. It's not like a human to human thing. Like it's extremely rare.
Hard to transmit.
It's very difficult for it to be human to human. And if that's the case, then how dangerous could it really be?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been around for a minute now. We haven't heard too much about it. We're watching out for some Moderna and whatnot. We're just going to run this because there's the dollar on target as that comes back in right here. I saw someone. I think this is actually a pretty good bet tonight. I think you can actually go with OKC tonight at minus 245. I mean, it's not a great line, but I like it better than the minus 7.5 there tonight. OKC still favored by 8 points. They will get the win tonight. So I like this. You know, OKC, Oklahoma City.
They just have to make some small adjustments.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I mean, Shea didn't even have a good game, and it went to double overtime.
Is this the playoff?
Yeah, this is semifinals.
Oh, this is semifinals.
Okay.
Conference finals.
I like SGA because he's Canadian, so I'm rooting for OKC.
Exactly, right? And the two best players, unfortunately for USA, the two best players in this game and the two best players in the league, probably, are Canadian and French. So we have Wemby as French and OKC. Check Polymarket? Yeah, we could check Polymarket for what those odds are. But right now, minus 245 plus 7.5 right there. Looking to kick it in. This is the Vegas line, my guy. Golden Knights. Yeah. I want to bet against them. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here we go. So right now, Golden Knights. So it's a little bit more of a favorite. Colorado is then Vegas there, and this is the puck line. What was that? Kale McCarr's out? Okay, that's why it's going to be worse. I was going to say, that's actually looking pretty good right there. I would probably take the under in this game right here. We'll see tomorrow night is Carolina, Montreal. Actually, that's Thursday, so we got to wait a couple more days for that game to come through right there. Carolina, heavy favorite. They haven't lost yet in the playoffs. So anyways, a quick little look there on, it was 7.5. What does it have on there? Oh, you're on Polymarket already?
On Polymarket.
What do they have, 7.5?
No, they've got 6.5.
6.5, yeah, so a little bit better odds there on Polymarket.
Wonder if that's always the case, huh?
Yeah, it is, I think so. It's because remember, Polymarket is made by the people, so you're not getting that those odds.
And then what about the debacle on game one? The choke job that was the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, that's why I like the Knicks. I think the Knicks will just probably pump them again. That should probably be 9.5.
Once you figure out that Harden's not guarding anybody in the fourth. Oh, sorry, my bad.
I thought 9.5. What does it say?
Where did I go? Yeah, 6.5.
Oh, 6.5.
Come on.
I would definitely take that one.
The Knicks, like, forget about it, man. Forget about it. The Knicks are playing at such a great level, and
all right, Joe, it's me and you beer again because last year I've got the Avs, he's got Vegas, so that's already, you don't have to say yes, Joe, I accept. So we're going to do that because last year he had, straight up.
One game of the playoffs?
The series. Okay. Yeah. So that's good. So I assume you're fine with that, Joe. Can we get a thumbs up on screen so I don't have to hear about this afterwards? They never agreed to it.
Do we have?
Yeah.
I got to bet Joe something. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, last year. So Joe had me last year, no doubt. I was on Edmonton. He was on the Panthers
all year long.
But Joe, let's promise that we will. We'll also try to do the Stanley Cup, regardless of who wins. We'll see if we can come up with a bet for the Stanley.
I don't like
the Coupe de Stanley over there. It's Adara. She's been waiting forever over there at the big screen. We don't make her wait. That is my bad. Over to Adara at the big desk. Down goes Target.
Hey guys, it's Adara with a very interesting, I think, new infographic I'm piloting for you guys. I haven't posted this yet on X. I'm planning on posting it tomorrow. But I want to get feedback from you guys, see how you feel about this type of visual. Basically, I'm going to explain what this is first, and then I'll explain why I made this, because I think that does matter here. So basically, long story short, I noticed a pattern of Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton launching investigations into a lot of public companies. Now, the most recent of those was actually launched today into Meta. So with that in mind, I wanted to go to a deep dive. He has launched investigations into and or sued a lot of public companies. So I just focused on the ones that have happened this year. But guys, pretty interesting stuff. I mean, you have like the settlement with Live Nation, of course. You also have a really interesting settlement with Cal-Maine earlier this year, which involved securing, quote, over 2 million free eggs. So yeah, interesting stuff. Again, this is not yet live. It will be live soon. So certainly stay tuned. Now, in terms of why I made this. Basically, long story short, if you are, shout out to any Texans here, you know that this is your Attorney General, but he's also running for Senate. And President Trump endorsed him yesterday in the Senate race. Now, that got me wondering, what happens to all of these many continuing investigations if he does end up leaving the AG position? So yeah, I just wanted to make this visual. I thought it might be fun. Again, I have not yet posted this. It will be posted tomorrow, but I want to know what you guys think about this because I have a lot of fun doing these deep dives. If you have any other random public company related deep dives you want to see or you'd like me to do, always tag me in the chat. But thank you, Texas. Shout out to Texas. And we're going to have to wait and see here what company gets investigated by Paxton next. Back to you.
Paxton for 3.
I know, now all of a sudden we're just talking sports. That's exactly what I thought about John Paxton over there as well. We just got hit down there at 50s again, so I'm getting close to being out of this, man. We have 20% left right now on target. We should play some Street Fight. Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to deal with anybody on Street Fighter.
We've actually asked we asked whether it's possible.
I thought Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Why am I doing NVIDIA earnings? I want to do.
We first said we're going to do Mario Kart.
Yeah. I don't want it. Yeah, forget it. So tonight, no more NVIDIA earnings. We're going to hook up the N64. We're going to play some Mario Kart. We're going to hook up the SNES.
GoldenEye.
Play some Street Fighter. We could play some
GoldenEye. Get like the 4 screen.
Yeah, I think that would be hot fire.
Tell me you got.
I'm currently playing Mortal Kombat.
How about let's do this?
I'm playing Mortal Kombat on PS5.
This is the best use of
bring in my PS5. Hey, we can play NHL on that thing, Joe. I have NHL 26. But bring in the PS5. Then you could be Vegas. I'll be Colorado, and then we'll see what ends up happening there.
Where do you watch?
There we go. We got a poll going on there. No, I don't think anybody. Well, there is those YouTube channels where all they do is play video games over and over.
We're keeping it really simple here. Okay, everybody. if you'd watch us play, maybe not market hours, but like sometime we could do it on like a Friday after evening or so, whatever. It doesn't matter. We could figure it out. Would you watch us play video games on the big screen? The crew. Type 1 in the chat for yes and 2 for no. So remember, you've got to be a sub to be in the chat and to participate. So jump in there if you haven't. Throw your 1s in. If there is no 3, it's just 1 or 2. Green for yes. This is overwhelming. Only 82%. What's with 20% of you guys? Don't want to see it. No, they're 76%. So okay.
I mean, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch dudes playing
solid.
video games.
Still
honestly.
pretty solid.
I don't want to see anybody.
You know, the kids love that. My dog, like, it's weird. Like when, like, there's a point at which, like, you play the video game enough, and both my daughter and my nephew now they will 50-50 watch people.
Oh yeah, I know. I think that's a phase. My kids used to do that. They don't do that.
Yeah, and I'm like, can you get out of that phase? I love it. Like, figure it out yourself. When we played video games, that was part of the fun.
Yeah, well, we never had internet.
Well, it's true, but still, part of the fun was figuring it out for yourself. And then when you did figure ish out, you were just like, yeah, baby. Like, I don't want to watch somebody do it and then you get cheated. I think we're going to Adara.
Yeah, I want to mention here, guys, we do have more comments from President Trump. Looks like he could be now stepping off of the plane from that U.S. Coast Guard Academy graduation. He's saying, quote, "We will wait for Iran's response for a few days, and if I can save the war by waiting a couple days, great." I don't know what save the war means here, but it sounds like, you know, maybe if he can avoid conflict. Either way, he says it's great if he can save the war, quote unquote, by waiting a couple days. He said he's not doing any relief, quote unquote, until the deal is reached. So no sanctions relief until they make a deal. He also is making a lot of very different contrasting comments here on Cuba. But yeah, just be aware he's talking. I wanted to let you guys know because of the Iran mentions. Back to you.
So thanks, Adara. I'm covering some more target. Just got out some more target. We're not going to wind up holding that much. If it gets into 118, then we'll really start to celebrate that one. Profit taking potentially here on Nvidia as we get ready for that number tonight, right? I mean, oh, what the heck? If I don't get the right answers on, we're talking about this on Iran, it goes quickly. I need to compete 100% good answers from Iran. Yeah, okay. I mean, does he even know who he's talking to? I mean, the last couple of times it was like, I don't know who.
He said he's talking to, quote, reasonable people. He just said that. So
right. So from one reasonable person to another.
He has a question. He has an answer to your question, Sean. He's saying, yeah, I'm talking to reasonable people.
Okay. So thanks, Adara, for that one.
But are the reasonable people in positions of authority to actually give you what you want?
Neil, that's a reasonable question. Okay.
We can't ask those.
No. Neil, you're being too reasonable with that one. I was just going to say that, you know, there's such a beat expected for NVIDIA. I was just looking at the numbers right there. 79 billion I have to repeat that. $79 billion in Q1 revenue is what's expected with an EPS of 177. Dare probably has different numbers. This is just something that I'm looking at here from the street. 170. Okay, yeah. So there's all these numbers that are out there that are all beats, right? And the thing is that if they do come in a little bit light on that number, this stock is going to get hammered, as are all the other ones. The other problem that I have here is going to be the guide, because right now they're all looking for that next chip. The next chip is the Rubin platform. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, so these are all the numbers right here. But they're looking for that Rubin chip. So if there's a lot of holdouts for that next generation chip, I wonder if Jensen's going to come out and say, look, we have a backlog, but unfortunately right now, you know, we haven't produced enough of them, and we don't know that whole China story. So I'm a little bit worried that there's this sort of this air pocket between the current chips to that next chip, and maybe we're stuck somewhere in the middle there. That could be something that turns this story upside down, but
we've seen a start of that. The first example of that type of phenomenon already happened to ASML. Like, right. ASML came out with the next generation machine for advanced chip building, and
they should got us some armor.
And look, they've got obviously like two very large clients in Samsung and TSM, and when they were like, yeah, we're gonna wait a cycle. We're not going to get, usually like everyone just ponies up. It's like you have to have their machine. They can make a new one, they sell it right away. They said we're going to give it a bit, and we're not going to buy it in this new cycle right away to make sure that all this CapEx spend and all of this continues, and then maybe in a year or two we'll look at it again. And that's just ASML. If something along those lines happens to Nvidia, because ASML shrugged that off. The market, AI should shrug that off. Something happens, It wouldn't get shrugged off if that was the case with NVIDIA.
No, I think, NVIDIA is the one that's holding the keys, I feel like. And then there's also the H200 in China, right? Is there going to be talks about that possibly being allowed? And we didn't hear anything. We had the whole delegation there get into China, which included Jensen. And I didn't hear anything about chips or anything like that being allowed back into China now, although we know they're still getting in there, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. Those numbers aren't going to hit their numbers, so that doesn't really matter. The options market is pricing in roughly a 5.5 to 6.5% move. We talked about options earlier with Joe at the beginning of the day. He sort of covered some NVIDIA talk there, and he's going to be joining me after hours as Neil's got to go get ready for the baseball. So that should be fun. I think the weather's going to be, it's great outside right now.
It's not too hot, which is great.
We play tomorrow night, but we play at 8 p.m. So it's always
8 a.m.
8 a.m. would be.
That would be like Saturday morning. You probably play it.
Yeah, we do. I think actually this coming Saturday I think is 11. She has two things this Saturday: hockey and baseball. We're hoping that they don't overlap. Yeah, but that's it. So they're still pricing in 5.5 to 6.5%. That's a $350 billion swing.
Crazy.
So there's some stuff going on, man, here tonight.
Usually they'll say it's like this company or that company. Off the top of my head, I don't know who's 300. JP Morgan? Who's 300? No, they're bigger.
Billion?
No.
No, yeah. That's probably a. That used to be an AMD. I don't know. What is AMD?
AMD's got, what, 7?
Oh, well, now it's.
Oh, yeah, but now, you know what?
Yeah, AMD was 300 or 400 billion.
It was probably that last week.
Marvell's not even that much. So we're going to be expecting a big swing, probably like an ExxonMobil or something like that.
Yeah.
But so many prices have gone higher. I don't want to say one thing.
Even like ExxonMobil.
And be wrong on that one.
You can't even, that's the thing with this market. Like you get pigeonholed to market caps or stock prices, and then if you don't look at it for 2 weeks, you're like, huh? What in the you-know-what just happened?
What is NVIDIA's market cap rate now? We're trying to go over 5.
I don't know.
I'm trying to check this out right
Plus
here.
or minus not much from 5.
5. I was going to try to find it. Yeah, 5.36.
That's even, okay, that's more, it's higher from 5 than I thought. I thought it was like 5.1 or 5.2.
Billy. Not a milli, a Billy. So shout out to Nollins and Lil Wayne.
So we have Luis in the chat.
Oh, gosh.
Luis just...
Oh, yeah, Luis, what happened to Poet today, my guy?
He just says, my daughter says I look like a mix between the two of you. Like but you can do an AI mashup, Luis.
Sorry about that, Luis.
Prove it. Do an AI mashup
your daughter doesn't like you.
And put it next to you.
I'm sorry your daughter feels that way about you. But I wanted to...
I don't have much hair.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
That much is true.
Come on, Luis's daughter. But hi.
Hi, Luis.
Whatever. If you put her name in there, Luis, I will definitely shut her out. But Luis, that 3-day rule there on Poet was 1, 2. We were hoping for an update today in Poet. Sure, we're getting an update, but there wasn't really much going on there today. I think early on in the pre-market, it did bounce around. I know you're on the midday with the guys, and I didn't hear too much discussion about this, but it has been fading out just a little bit. So I would say to everybody now, Poet's now still underneath VWAP. We like to short things that are underneath. I know Luis prefers shorting, so that's a good move there on Poet. That's sort of day 3. I was really interested in it because I did like what Luis had to say there, because it's similar to the rules that we have when we talk about the earnings, right? We give it a couple days and then see if it bounces right there back up to the upside. But by the way, here goes Target still. Oh, oh God. Itana? Hi, Tana. Yeah, that's kind of like a mix there. Hi, Tana. Yeah, we very much appreciate your father coming on the show. Your father is famous, by the way, much more so than Neil and I. But hi, yeah, come to Canada. Bring her over, Luis. We'd love to have you guys come back here and visit, and
to Barcelona.
We'll be able to do that, or just invite us to Barcelona.
You've been to Spain?
I've never been to Spain, but I'm going there hopefully shortly, and we'll try to stop in there as well. But
next year.
So Poet would have been nice for 30, 40 cents, I guess, but right now we do have $1.30.
It's just not.
Oh, you did try Target.
I did. It was like a trend break. It eventually gets to VWAP. I was waiting for basically hold the prior low and then take a trend break, like that setup, and then it just couldn't extend. It got to first resistance and then out break even. So you got to know. Sometimes you just got to cut it off. Like even if it goes lower, so you could just hold it forever and eventually it gets to VWAP. I don't believe in that. I think tomorrow, as long as it holds on to 13.5, it doesn't lose this level. So I think the long could still work out tomorrow. It just wasn't Poet's day today. I know it's weird to say.
Yeah, you never know.
It's up 7.5%. It's weird to say it's not its day. But unless you were long in the pre-market.
It was up 15, so it's giving back half.
It's like small wins unless you were up pre-market. That's all you can say.
I took another bid on Target. I'm just, you know what? I mean, it's late. It's not late in the day. We still have an hour to go, but hitting this trade was pretty good, man. There's the VWAP break. And we actually did this I think we did something like this yesterday. I'm trying to get better and better at what exactly I'm trying to look for here every single day. There was Tesla yesterday on the short. Those are great trades up there near the highs, and then it started to take off again. Oh, this is what it was. It was Google. There was the Google break higher yesterday off that view up, and man, Google went. There's the view up dip by again in the afternoon on Google. So this is from yesterday. This is Intel yesterday. That short into 10. Like we have a 102.50 fill yesterday on Intel, and that short continued to go. So it was Google yesterday off view up. I just wanted to double check. Thank you, by the way, for everybody over there on X, man. I tried to respond to many of you, and it was really nice to see all that action when we talked about what trades we may or may not be on here today. But okay, it's 2:54 right now. We've got Adara back behind us at the desk.
Implied earnings moves tonight. Let's look at them. Nvidia, unsurprisingly, smallest of the day, 5.7% expected move. This is roughly how much they tend to move on earnings here. Then you've got Urban Outfitters, 9.8% move. ALF, 13.5%. Intuit, 8.5%. Notably, I was seeing 4:30 p.m. for Nvidia as early as this morning, or as recently as this morning. As of this afternoon, I'm now seeing 4:20 for the release time, which is usually what it is. Now, why this was significant is because last quarter, they were supposed to report at 4:20. The exact correct numbers and wording from their release were leaked at 4:20, and they were correct. But then the official release wasn't released till 4:31. So that's why this whole 4:30, 4:20 thing actually matters to an extent. Either way, we are expecting 4:20 as of right now. So please join us in person, virtually, at Trader TV Live, and also check out for live updates on TTV Research on X. Back to you.
All right, because it was asked, Midwest R-dub, why not? It's NVIDIA earnings, so we'll get rid of it. The us playing on the big screen was 70-30. For anyone that was interested, it was 70-30. There's a way, forget it. We can go back and we can look at historical ones, but it was 70-30. So just quickly for NVIDIA, we'll make it pretty simple. It's at 220 now. So the question was over 240, under 200. So like those are both more the expected move and continuation, or type 3 for in between, like 200 to 240 will be an inside range. I feel I'm overwhelmingly that will be inside. Like the idea that you're going more than 10% up or more than 10% down. I think people.
I don't think it's going to do that.
The times that we used to do that, I think, are for now gone. So I'm going with I already typed the 3, but 1 for greater than 10% effectively. Right. It's more like 9%, but 240, and then go for the under 220, which would be. That's much more than 10% down. It's 24%. So there's actually more people for now voting that you would go down under $200, slightly more. But the overwhelming majority, and this makes sense, is inside. We're expecting a 5.5, 6% move. So that would be the chalk aspect of it. But it's NVIDIA earnings, so of course we'll put that up.
And remember, it could move much more once we get the conference call. We saw what happened. Target today was up to $130.
And then
the call happened, and then I just got another piece out on Target, by the way, when it broke back through 150 rate, 1950 rate. Got another piece out. But yeah, this was like Target. This is when I was like, oh man, I sold mine at 121 or a majority of that stake, and I was like, oh, that's bad. And then all of a sudden we looked back at 8:30 and it was like, whoop, all the way down into 120 again, and then it bounced, and now we see what's happening with Target there. So we'll wait to see. Generally, if that's going to come out at 4:30, probably conference call 5:30. We'll double check that when that does come out. We'll figure out when their conference call is. But yeah, I would say not going to move 10%. If anything, I would choose 3 and then 1. I think if anything's going to happen, NVIDIA goes lower by 10%. I don't think it goes higher than 10%. But again, the valuations aren't unbelievable. If you're going to use PEs and things like that,
it's not absurd.
NVIDIA compared to the rest of them is actually pretty reasonable. So I do not think it's an absurd valuation either. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening with that one. But yeah, join us tonight. Don't go anywhere, right? As soon as 4 o'clock hits, we'll say goodbye to Neil, and Joe and I and Adara will be here. We'll talk all about NVIDIA. We'll talk about some of the possible, beats or whatever's going to wind up happening there with NVIDIA, and hopefully a good price action.
If they beat and the stock goes down, then their PE will be in the 25 range. If they beat and it goes down, think about that for a second. If they beat and the stock goes down, you're going to be picking this up at 25. And if it's an extreme down move, maybe even underneath that. So the idea that you could get NVIDIA cheaper than what's the multiple on the S&P, 26? Something like that? Whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, it's not that high, but it's close.
Yeah, well, it's around this. But anyway, the idea that you can get Nvidia at the S&P multiple, I guess, would be the easier way to put it. Is pretty intense. Like that would be pretty sick. What do I have? Oh,
we have right here. It's too bad. Like it's not too bad. It is what it is. But we were just talking about Google at VWAP yesterday and how much I liked it. And then just as we were sort of, dilly-dallying there, it was actually at VWAP again. And then it took off a little bit there as Google goes Greensville here today. And it was pretty bad, pretty beat up early. And this was the name that, I was trying to buy. I liked it. I'm buying it off the 200 and the 50 period, man, all day on a stock that I like. And it's actually not something that we wrote down in here. It just came basically just was upside. And we're like, okay, this is great. And I thought, okay, some sellers have come in. We hit off the top around that 390, 394, 393 area, and it fell back in right through VWAP. And then I was like, okay, that's fine. It doesn't have to hold VWAP. But I did think it was going to hold this 200, but it didn't. And that's when we lost it all. And then since then, it's a nice little battle back here for Google. I don't know if there's going to be anything to this name here as we enter in the power hour, but see, I'm trying to zoom in here a little bit. 380s. So I still like this back down into here, 380, 650. So we can get a 380, 650 call there or down into that area. I think I would prefer trading that right now. So that's something that I'm definitely going to be looking at. So shout out to anybody else trying to look at Google right now. We'll see what winds up happening with that one. But
where'd the super chat go?
I don't know. I thought we had. Oh, it was. Oh, they're testing.
Okay.
Something there. So that was not a legit one for right now. But if that does come back in, that is something for sure that I want to look at there on Google. Nothing else is really hitting the radar. I mean, I just looked. I don't have a whole, like it was a starter position in ARM to begin with. So I didn't really put a whole bunch of money down into here. I could still make, take it out, make a little bit there for what we've had. But even if I take out half, it's nothing that much. We'll like to see if ARM wants to run a little bit higher. I do think that when you get 20% in a week, might be worth it. But ARM can still get going there. Like if Nvidia beats, this is a whole new world because then you're going to have stocks like Marvell that's been back-to-back days. It's pulling back today, but yesterday it was 5 or 6, 7%. Today it was 5, 6, 7% on size as well. So we'll have to wait to see if this name gets going back up to the upside, especially if there is going to be that beat coming through. And then we have names like CoreWeave that I think are going to be exciting into tonight. So if you want to put like a basket of stocks together, there's a bunch of names that tonight is sort of hinging on what Nvidia does.
15% tomorrow. If Nvidia
could be down much more than that.
If Nvidia is down,
almost a $100 stock 2 months ago.
Yeah,
so
but it's in a huge new range. Sam's is asking about Constellation, CEG. Yeah, it's finally catching a bid. Like it's underneath the 2. You know what? Forget about the daily chart because I think when I was looking at this one, I've been looking at it on the monthly chart more so. And the encouraging thing about it on the monthly that's given me the reason to like it is this little consolidation for the last quarter. 280 to about 330. So it's consolidating at that level on a monthly chart. And then when you go to the weekly to look for, you can see it there too. Like the consolidation is pretty nice. So this candle here is giving me reasons to not want to wait. Like I don't want to wait for like another leg down. This is one that's being undervalued, and I'll be the first to admit I do like G even over better. But if I have to say, like from where we've gone, like G Vernova could be down double digits if on an Nvidia miss. Like there's. They could catch some strays too. It's just, I think one's a little bit more value.
All-time high alert, approaching.
Apple, no.
Approaching. It's Apple. It's Apple.
It is Apple.
Yeah, it's all-time highs coming in right now. You're about 70 cents away from the king resuming its castle position.
I couldn't get over. If you would have said the same thing if you were here for that poll, that nobody, which Mag 7 would you buy right now? Yeah. Nobody wanted to touch Apple with a 10-foot pole.
I think it's because it's a Mag 7. Like there's so many other names.
You had to pick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I told that story where I bought basically some of my first Apple shares when I bought the very first iPhone. And it was just like, okay, I think this thing is pretty cool. Let's just wait to see what winds up happening. I think that's what you're trying to do right now with some of these names. Like I had Palantir at the direct list. There's going to be other names. People have been, you talked about your brother, people have been supporting Rocket Labs and all these things, ARM even off the IPO, things like that. Like, new technologies, new names. I mean, you know, Google, Nvidia, like at one point, those were all little babies. I mean, not babies, because they were always, these guys came to market pretty hyped up. But at the end of the day, right, this is what you're looking for. And that's what's happening with SpaceX. You know, here comes a name, SpaceX, going to be out hopefully mid-June, and we'll see what that pricing looks like. We did have CBRS, of course, just come through, so we can check out what they've been up to. But regardless of where they go now, you might have thought, okay, that 350 price that they came out on in Cerebras on that day was probably a little bit inflated. Obviously, you know, that's what happens on IPO days. I think if you guys have been here, you sort of know what this kind of looks like. Always falling back in, but you never know what this is going to look like in a minute. ARM was $40 or whatever when it came out, or 60, and then it fell through that level for a while, and then eventually took it back to the upside, and now it's like we're talking about ARM at 260 or whatever it is now. So,
although ARM was a little bit more like Palantir in that they'd been around a while, and NVIDIA wanted to buy them. The regulators were like, heck no, that's not happening. But you could have had this. It was like 60. The low was in the 40. Yeah. It was at like $60. Yeah. Another example of
the thing about ARM was it was already SoftBank.
Yeah, good on day one, but after that it was a sell. Like, how many times we have to see this pattern? Like, you buy on day one, it's not usually that great for the first couple of weeks, like at least early on, but eventually, and this is just now it's a new wave to the upside. Look at this. This is such a great looking chart. I love to look at that chart. Circle is a great example of one that was just rocket. That's probably, you know, like that was your bet for 2 weeks. That was Captain Insano, and then it gave it all back.
I wanted to, I thought I must have put 102 or something like that. I didn't think it would actually fire up, because I meant to put target stop as 120, and then I punched me out immediately, and I was like, okay, well, I must put the wrong price. So then I just got right back in. So if you're wondering like how the price goes from I mean, I wish it didn't happen. Well, it doesn't matter, we're back in anyways. So from 120.70 is where we should still be short from, but I punched out there, took all the profit, of course, and then now punched back in. And I didn't average in, like, the trade is still 120. I'm not treating this as a different trade. I'm gonna try to treat this as the same thing. So, I'm bidding 53s. Okay, that's, okay. I mean, this is the thing. How specific do you really need to get here with this 25 period moving average? We just bounced off of it, whatever. I'm gonna wait to see if we can get a 50 fill on that one. And remember, it's not like I'm not just taking it because it's only be 20 pennies. It's just, this is the trade. I'm kind of treating it as if it was over here. So we've broken now overneath. That's a good one. The 25 period moving average. So now we wait for it to get overneath this 50 period moving average at 120. If it breaks through there, then we'll get out. And we only put back on the 15% that we had left. So that's going to be a trade there that we're working on. We're still waiting for Google to come in. And then we've just been, you know, blowing some air about Nvidia. And, you know, that made a move back into 222s. So that's an area that we were looking at the first time. That's my first long today. This one still holds as my top P&L play today. That break there with confidence, giving it 50 cents. So yeah, I kind of look at it, whatever amount of shares I have, you know, times that by 50 cents. That's a comfortable amount for me to lose on that trade. And then upside was the rest of it. So that was pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way that one worked out for sure. And now we wait to see what it's doing now. I'd rather get back up to VWAP before I get really too cute with it. And I'm not sure with an hour left if we really even want to mess around. I'm going to show you the imbalances. It has nothing to do with Nvidia, because right now we're not talking about any imbalances that have any. There's Enbridge again, everyday Enbridge, right? This has nothing to do with NASDAQ. So there's no NASDAQ names on here. Although if you saw, I mean, SOX L, it's not on here now, but one of the SOX products could be on here right now. We'll see if there's.
Yesterday there was no AMEX.
Yeah.
Now they're early looking at all
AIM, TZA, whatever those are. We will see today if the SOX L has holes in it, and because if you do have SOX with holes in it, maybe change them out. But yeah, we do like that SOX L play.
Even if they're your lucky ones. By the way,
I might have to add SOX
at
L
the highs. SOX L literally breaking.
Yeah, I was just
breaking the highs in. Okay, give it a couple seconds. It's not there yet. Just give it a minute. It's right there, like it's going to do it as we bring it up, and it's absolutely flying. What is NVIDIA's lagging? AMD, not AMD. AMD is absolutely flying higher. What's Micron doing today? See, Micron's another one. They're up 5%. Like this is one that we can end up talking about more than NVIDIA tomorrow morning, easily. I think that's a very reasonable possibility. Micron beast mode here, and we're not completely, but doing a very good job of reversing this down move. It just goes to show in an uptrend, pullbacks can be healthy. Will this one get back to the all-time? That's a question like that NVIDIA, I think, is going to answer for us, or the reaction to NVIDIA is going to answer, whether or not you can get back into that high. It's one thing to bounce on that pullback, but if that bounce doesn't see the high again, there's going to be a lot of naysayers for Micron and just the memory chip space in general.
We'll get to that super chat in a minute there, Patrick, because you are going to be correct. Volatility creates movement, and for sophisticated traders, movement creates opportunity. Beta Pro by Global X offers Canada's first and longest running suite of levered and inverse levered ETFs, built for both sophisticated investors who understand the risks of leverage and the importance of precision. Its triple levered bull and bear ETFs tied to the NASDAQ 100 indexes are designed for daily tactical trades, providing amplified daily exposure and giving traders tools to engage with both upward momentum and market pullbacks. These strategies are currency hedge, seeking to offset US dollar exposure back to the Canadian dollar. For those navigating short-term market moves, both up and down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act with conviction, whatever that looks like for your individual strategy objectives, and of course, risk profile. Trade tactically and learn more about them at betapro.ca. We want to thank them for their sponsorship of the show as well. But
Get the super chat.
okay, yeah, I mean, this is, I didn't even look at Goldman Sachs, but yeah, it was announced last night that they will be the underwriters. Okay, so OpenAI is actually filing, I think as early as tomorrow for their IPO, so that should be a fun one too, potentially Friday, Adara just mentioned. So there's Goldman Sachs today, So Goldman Sachs, again, they'll be holding that price. They're going to get a couple shares themselves. There goes Goldman Sachs, up 5%. And
did it break the 52-week high?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, if that's what the 52-week high is. Goldman Sachs is a bank that I own, but I'm more into, it's 52-week high. Yep, broken. That one, it's all time. No, actually, it's 52-week high is 984.
Not quite.
It's getting close to that rate now, 976. And then, it's...
Morgan's doing it right now.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm not sure what other banks are actually even doing. JP Morgan, yeah. So all these underwriting banks, investment banks.
Remember Citigroup after that earnings cycle was so good? Not anymore, man.
I like some Citigroup.
Remember, it was one of the days we did the bank earnings, and Citigroup was just like far and away looking like the best. That's been pulling back. It's really been about the underwriters and the trading names, and it's Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs that have been going. This is something we were talking about in the space. It's just the better place to be. Trading has been absolutely hot fire. Like, look at these markets right now. IPOs are back in the fold, right? You've got major deal making happening again. So in that environment, go Morgan Stanley, go Goldman Sachs, and if you don't like them, it just kind of sucks. It's not that there's other wins like Citi had a great momentum, great quarter, everything was looking fine, and the reason why you'll see the XLF maybe not look as good as it could be is, well, there's 3 banks that we just showed you that are fantastic, and there's a bunch of other stuff in the XLF that isn't performing as well. And those 3 were Morgan, Goldman, and JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. You can't just say Morgan, right? JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs. And that's why I lost favor with the XLF. Like every time I look at it, I'm like, okay, well, I own Morgan Stanley. I got some Canadian banks. Like, when is it ever better to be in the XLF than just the ones that I hold? And I found that the answer has been never. So, yeah, it was a successful pick last year, but like, it's not better than just buying dips in the best banks, really. Not even close.
Here's a mic drop I just found. MJR. Okay, well.
20%.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
20%.
Think that's going to happen.
I'll go right across. If NVIDIA goes 20% to the downside, well, I won't be here because I will be at practice. But tomorrow, I'll go grab a slice.
Well, you'll be on the train. You'll be on the train. You'll see.
No. I will tomorrow. I don't know what lunch is, but either way, I will go grab a slice of pineapple pizza from Pizza Nova, and I will eat it live on the show if it's down 20%. And I don't even require anything from you. It's not happening.
No, I wouldn't think it's happening.
No, I don't think it's happening.
But smarter men than I have made predictions that have.
But I love the boldness, so I'm willing to reward it. And if you don't know, the reason I say I really don't like pineapple on pizza. That's legitimately a punishment for me. Like, I love pizza.
That's a good punishment.
But I genuinely don't like pineapple on pizza.
I think that's a legit punishment, and we'll see what winds up happening tonight. I mean, tonight is the night, right? And we're gonna be doing it live. So if you haven't heard us say that, we're gonna be doing it live here tonight, and we can check out what's going on with Nvidia right now. It's not doing too much. It is pulling back, still up that 1%. We'll check in on its
this is a better point.
Check in on its friends.
20, probably buying more too.
Oh, if it's down 20%?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think I would buy Nvidia down 20%. I think it would rally back.
If on a beat and down 5%, it would be around a 25 PE, then what would it be down 20% on a beat? If it beats and is down 20%, then you're getting a ridiculous value. Yeah, I'd buy that. I'd also buy it. So I would eat pineapple pizza and I would buy stock.
A lot of people are trying to eat it right now. So, but,
if you enjoy pineapple on pizza,
enjoy whatever pizza you guys want.
Do whatever you got to do. I just don't like it.
I like it. I like Hawaiian. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely something that I could.
You know, one thing
I could F with.
One thing that was the best about Rome is
sneeze.
Like you just like.
How about everything?
All pizza is great, but just the absolute basic. You don't need. I don't need anything on.
Exactly.
And that's the only place where I've been where that's true. Unless I make a homemade pizza.
Well, yeah, they got the good. You need to have the dough, right?
The dough
homemade,
is so.
And the proper oils and everything like that.
That's what it is. But everything there is so much more fresh and like perfect when you're in Europe. I can't. London. I don't know. I'm going to London this year. I've been to England before. That's not somewhere that it's about the food. So, you know, I have nothing against the food in London. They have great restaurants, but it's not.
I went to the oldest fish and chip place in London. It was. I don't know what it's called.
I was gonna say like.
Your own work, my guy.
I'm gonna jump out.
I have to look it up. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like you know my wife.
You'll figure it out.
She already has the itinerary going
Gemini,
to like way too high of a
over
degree.
there.
Go ahead.
Okay.
There's good West Indian food, but I've
Amazon?
had all kinds of West Indian food. Josh saying there's tons of good West Indian food. Yeah, for sure. But I've eaten.
You know we're from Brampton, right?
Like my family's West Indian. I've been to multiple islands. I'm not saying I won't eat West Indian food, but like that's like low hanging fruit for me, and it's all good. Now I'm gonna jump out the break even on SMCI. I didn't get the clean. Here, I'll show you the trend break in there. So it was like about a bit of a chase there. So if it's only gonna go to first support, we're getting a little bit deeper into power hour. So I wanna see if I can find something a little bit better that I can get tighter to the trend break. If anything, what was, ARM wasn't doing anything. Wasn't ARM, to be up 13%, it's really not doing anything. What else stands out? Rivian had that crazy bid, is it still up? A little double top action on Rivian, up 5% there for sure. Sounds like heartburn. Everything's heartburn. Everything in moderation, man. Everything in moderation. CrowdStrike, all-time highs. Well, we're on the all-time high train. Crowd and PanW. The biggest lesson to learn, CrowdStrike has now given you, I should say with CrowdStrike, CrowdStrike has given you two slam dunk, everyone, like for the first one everyone remembers the breach. Like that was like a slam dunk, oh get out of here moment. And then this one was the clot, everyone freaks out about it. Like there's some places where if people are panicking, you've got to want to buy them. And CrowdStrike has been that. I can't go back far enough. I forget how long ago that was, so I have to go to a weekly chart on CrowdStrike to throw it up there. Like when this one gives you a deep dip, gotta buy. Look at the weekly chart. Look at that acceleration. Yeah, there's a ring the register moment coming in. I'm gonna trail 10% on Crowd. I was gonna just offer like $650 or some nonsense and maybe get hit.
Hit. What is it at now?
It's 647. No, I'm thinking differently. I think, I'm sort of thinking I'll like put like a stop somewhere underneath 650, something along those lines, and get 10 out. I'm no longer gonna I'm just gonna trim this one because this is the one I recently bought. I was gonna do both that and PanW, but no. Like this was the one I recently bought, so I'll just take the 10% off that I got, 10% that I got in. I'll take that out on that high break just to make sure we bank a little bit of profit because this thing is crazy.
Definitely seems to be some profit-taking opportunities there. Name that we don't really. I mean, I was trying to look at Amazon. Like I was trying to look at. I primarily will look at most of the Mag 7 names and the big tech names is what I'm trying to trade. here. I mean, we traded Target pretty good today. You guys just saw that, so that was a good one. Yeah, Amazon. You know, I like the name for sure. I mean, I think Amazon does have that opportunity to do something here. So we can wait to see what exactly that something is. But that was a nice bounce off there. We did hear Jeff Bezos today talk a little bit about space, data centers up there in space, and thinking that they may be closer than we think. I'm not sure about that one there, but hey, man, that's what he's saying. And I'm not going to doubt what's going through his mind. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of money. So we'll have to wait to see. And that might be why, you know, you're looking at names like A-Lab or something like, A-L-A-B, that's continuing to watch out for the upside. A-Lab up 17% possibly on comments like that today. Rocket Labs. There's another space name that I wanted to get into. We never talk about it enough. I don't know what it is. Is it Lumen? Lumen Technology. Oh, that's Blue Ocean. Why do I always call up the Blue Ocean?
Because it's the first thing in the drop down.
Oh no, it's $9. It's not this name. There was a few other ones that were up there in space talking about data centers and internet in the space there. But anyways, I still think that with SpaceX coming through in less than a month, apparently, we will have SpaceX and we'll be able to see what all of these names are doing. Oh, it's Lunar. It's Lunar is what I was talking about. Yeah, Intuitive Machines. Okay. Yeah, it's Lunar for sure. This is a good opportunity here for this name, I feel like, to get going as well into that SpaceX hype. So a name that really has gone. I mean, it's not most of these names are gone, but this is a nice little pullback. The reason why I wanted to look at this name is I realized that there was some work still to be done just because of where it is. It hasn't mooned sort of like the rest of them. So I think Lunar there, Intuitive Technologies, definitely something to look at.
That one has
forward.
Intuitive has a chart looking almost like the UFO ETF. Like it's very close to the ETF there. And what's the top on this? Yeah, Planet Labs, VSAT, Globalstar, Sirius, Rocket Labs, EchoStar. Really, it's not top 10. Lumen's not in the top 10. I was just looking at the top 10 for that. Or the top 5. Yeah, you get some good names with UFO, but that's very similar to it as well. Someone in the chat was just asking, have a look, what are the thoughts on Alphabet? What can we say about it? I wasn't overly bullish on Alphabet this morning. And part of the reason for that was it was maybe it was yesterday, I think it was this morning though. $400, all the selling that's been happening on it, it just seems like it wants some kind of a test lower. Like you get to 400 and there's been all of these rejections, like reject. I think it was 6 days in the last, going back to the beginning of the month, right? And we're, I don't know, like 2/3 of the way through the month or something like that. So it feels like it's in the pullback. If it loses 380, there's a leg down, and then 350 is going to give you the 50-period moving average, and then there you go. So like, yeah, that's where I'm kind of at on Alphabet. It doesn't feel like it's imminent. It managed to hold on to that bottom today. So it was down today, but managed to hold on to that support line. But it's still making lower highs with 400 fails. You break this bottom, 350 gives you a good spot. It's also the kind of name when you get the comparisons in the Mag 7, like it's going to start to look a little bit expensive compared to the rest. And when that happens, sometimes you get a bit of a drawback and the baton gets passed on to somebody else. Right now you're getting Apple looking pretty darn good. Like Apple's looking awfully sexy up here. It's got the baton and is trying to run and rally. I thought we said it got to an all-time high on Apple. Maybe not. Maybe I misheard. I thought... Adara, no, I thought it's like we said this afternoon that Apple made an all-time high this afternoon. Maybe I didn't hear that. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I wasn't there when that was said. I don't know.
Yeah, Apple did not yet, but pretty darn close. And so as a comparison, Apple seems to have the baton a little bit here relative to Google. And the thing about the markets, you can love something long-term. Like I guarantee you, at this point, it's probably close between Alphabet and Nvidia. I'd have to double check. I'm not sure which one. It's really close between these two, which are the bigger holdings. I love them both. I just feel like in this moment, Nvidia seems to be giving you a better value proposition, and if it goes down, it's still giving me a better value proposition than Google is all the way up here. I like them both, but there's just very different circumstances over the last, 2 months? Going to the beginning of March, for the last 2 months. Like Alphabet is 270 to 400. That's crazy. Like Alphabet's giving you 40-something% if we just eyeball it there. Sick. You know, Nvidia's not really doing that, and it's threatening that it could even give you a value dip buy. It's been good, but I can't complain about it. What else are we looking at here? It's 323, still just Enbridge, FXI, SOXL. You want to see these ETFs for the early look. You want to see over 1 million if you're talking about the Amex names. Individual stocks, it depends on the stock. Like how cheap is the stock? If it's super expensive, then 1 million's huge. But on these ETFs, you got to see over 1 million shares on the Amex, or I don't think it's much of anything. Alibaba was in play. Alibaba had news about a new chip this morning,
Alibaba's news.
and it didn't do jack. You know what?
What?
It didn't do jack.
Oh, Jack. Oh, okay.
All it did is fall. So they had a positive headline this morning, and it got sold off right away at 9:30. It's trying to claw its way back. This stock is still in the ish list. You can forget about valuation, and you can forget a little bit about the fundamentals here, because right now it is nobody wants to buy. Nobody wants to buy them. I don't know what to tell you, because I still have some Alibaba. Thankfully, it's off that it was a 70s and 80s. Man, you have to go so far back. You know, to go so far back for this thing when it was really starting to break out, because it had that nice little rounded bottom. There you go. Now you can see it. Rounded bottom, and then the breakout here goes right back in, gives you another shot at the 80s. But this doesn't look at all healthy. Under the 200 periods, threatening to lose the 50 period, death cross if you're into that sort of thing. Positive catalyst today, down 0.6%. It's not Alibaba's time yet. And I do want to buy back into it. That's the annoying thing about it with Alibaba, because I think you're getting a good value. If you believe in the AI trade, it's hard not to like these guys.
Yeah, it's easy not to like them because of China.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, so exactly. That's exactly the only
thing. Yeah,
that's the problem with it, right? So, right into there, 172. You want to talk about SOXL, man? Congratulations for anybody that's printing all of that right there on the SOXL, because this is starting to go higher here, as we've already seen a big push in many of these names. Just a 3 times bull ETF in the chip space. So you got to watch out to see if this one wants to take it out. I'm actually surprised it's not up even more than that. But considering considering that Nvidia is a big piece of that one, we'll have to find out if SOXL does want to make it back. Its all-time highs are around 190. Was that right? Oh, here it is right here. 190. Yeah, basically 190. So SOXL making that push there with Nvidia goes back and forth. Let's just go find out who's doing it. Yeah, what's up, Erie Pages, man? You're having a great month. He says, best month so far. Yeah, this might be the best month so far this year. There it is right here. It's only mid-May, so, actually it's May 20th already. There it is, so shout out. SoFi, Intel. Okay, good, man. Maybe you went long on some SoFi down there near 15. That would be good. All right, here we go. Let's compare the profits. These are all the traders here at Real Trading, and they're all sort of lumped up into one. We hit on compare your profits. Now you'll be able to see what traders are making here at Real Trading, sort of by market, right? We could see here yesterday, the highest trader on Blue Ocean was 2,800. We did have someone trading the OTC pink markets for about 1,700. There's over about 2,500 to 3,000 traders at any given time on the, I just saw Dublin there. Oh, come on, Dublin, man, 336. We make a little bit more money over there. But this is the top traders, P&L combined yesterday. So this is gonna be US dollars, and this is the markets that they traded. So, Canada, right there. So Canada running the top 3 spots. I was gonna say unlike hockey, and this like hurts us, but there you go. Gold, silver, bronze.
Still a chance.
Gold, silver, bronze. There for that.
I meant the NHL.
Yeah, I don't know. The NHL could still have it. Montreal, yeah.
There's a chance.
Yeah, they might be 4th out of the 4, but that's okay. Yeah, they got it. Nasdaq, Amex, Nasdaq. So not too much going on there in the NYSE. Generally speaking, when you see all these NASDAQ ones there, I'm surprised there's no NYSE. So that's leading me to believe that there might have been, again, some sort of an arbitrage. And, we say that all the time. The most money is made by finding an edge, not simply buying SOXL and holding it. It's people that look at those imbalances. It's traders that, look to see if they can find some sort of a difference between the Canadian market and the US market and try to arbitrage that. There's so many people that are building algos. There's people that are trading on the pink sheets. You just saw that. There's people that are making markets. There's people that are hitting trading IPOs like crazy. There's lots of different opportunities out there in the market. You just got to find yours and hit it with vengeance when you do. That's.
Do we know which market OpenAI is coming to?
NASDAQ.
NASDAQ. Okay. Just want to be.
You see, if I say it with confidence, you believe it. So I don't actually know, but I would say it's going to be the NASDAQ.
It's what I would have guessed.
Yes.
But
so
I mean,
I'll go with NASDAQ.
I don't
SpaceX
know.
is definitely, we already know SPCX is already done. So that's going to be the symbol there over on the NASDAQ for SpaceX. I'm going to assume OpenAI just filed right now.
That's what I was smelling it. I knew it.
Just a little bit.
It's
just a little bit burnt.
There's a few pieces that's really burnt. I'll eat it anyway. I don't care.
I thought I was smelling popcorn, and then I thought I was losing my mind.
You know when you smell popcorn, you just have to have some?
That's black in there. Straight black.
This is the first one. I've never had popcorn
that was
in the, on the trading floor in the studio.
This one's okay.
Just a few pieces in there.
Need some popcorn for Nvidia earnings, you know. It just popped off. There's another black one.
I got a super chat here.
That's very kind of you, Amin.
Thanks, Amin. Scott Tomlinson.
Thank you for giving us all the burnt
It's always great to hang out with all the hosts of Trader TV, as well as all my fellow traders. I feel blessed to be with all. We feel blessed to be with you guys on a daily basis.
Picking out all the good ones.
Always a lot of fun. And make sure you stick around. I'm not going to be there, but there's Ramin. There's Ramin.
Is that Costco? We have the Costco popcorn. Is that Orville Redenbacher's or what is that? Thanks. No idea. THC infused popcorn. What are you even giving us over here, Ramin?
That'll play.
God, Ramin, what are you trying to do? We got a show.
I still got tonight.
Still got a show to run. Oh, I go high to baseball every time. No, I was joking. Don't.
You'd be like Percy Harvin.
Yeah, exactly.
Never played a.
No, of course not.
He's the only one that there's a lot of guys that are of that.
Oh yeah.
But that dude actually legitimately suffered from like insane migraines. He goes.
Dude, that's nothing.
The guy couldn't do anything without it.
There's-
It's not that bad. For popcorn, this is not that bad.
I would probably say 10%, maybe 10% of the NFL's doing cocaine would be my guess, honestly.
Well,
I mean,
if
in the
it's
NHL.
the Cowboys, it's 25.
Yeah, exactly.
In baseball,
Shout out to Michael Irvin.
you want the stat in baseball? So, like, obviously, you take certain like amphetamines or whatever thing for ADHD.
Yeah.
The incidence,
ADHD.
once they started testing for that for amphetamines, the incidence of people who were diagnosed with that, and it's like 10 times the normal male population in MLB.
Yeah.
Everyone getting exemption. Because at the end of the day, everyone's going to get the edge that they can.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, man. All right. Yeah, we're hoping that the NVIDIA earnings does not turn out to maybe overcooked like this. We want to thank Ramin. Those are actually, look, we're still eating it. That's the thing about popcorn.
Well, this is the thing. I'm definitely.
We're like, oh, man, this
stop.
is burnt. Ow, more burnt. We go, give me more burnt popcorn. I love burnt popcorn. But no, thank you, Ramin. That was very, very kind of you and very, very yummy, needless to say. Okay, so that was fun. I actually like the Chicago-style popcorn where you get the mix. Sometimes there's like the cheese one, the caramel one, different things like that. So, all right. Okay, so thank you, Adara. You got some popcorn back there too, Adara, I see? Okay, good.
Thank you, Ramin, for the popcorn. Much appreciated. The smell is so good. I want to go to McDonald's.
I'm about to make a budget for the show for popcorn because this is actually changing the mood.
Or we could get a popcorn
machine. Yeah.
We keep talking about getting one at home, and I don't know why we haven't done it. My wife loves popcorn.
Do you guys have Rona here? Because I know that the Rona's a thing in Winnipeg. It's like a home hardware, like building type.
Rona? Anyway, yeah, we have Rona.
Do you guys have Rona?
Yeah.
Okay, so I never know because there are things that we have. Like we have Olive Gardens everywhere in Winnipeg, and that's not a thing here. But anyways, so at Rona, they have the little popcorn machines, and my mom loves like building stuff. So when we were kids, we'd go to the Rona, and we'd always get the popcorn. So shout out to popcorn machines.
Shout out to Rona, but you don't know about Jumbo Video. So Jumbo Video. Yeah, okay. So Jumbo Video is like a Canadian Blockbuster. You just went in there and there was popcorn popping freely. You grabbed a bag and you could walk around the store.
We had a dude, one of the first dudes in our high school crew that had a car. Used to at lunch, you'd drive everybody in his van to the Jumbo Video, and then you go get free popcorn and then you.
Yeah, the
back.
Skinny Pop is good.
That was the legitimate stuff. The only reason
that Skinny Pop stuff. We have a popcorn maker at home, but just one of those. Yeah, you put it. It's like really old. It's like from the 1980s or something. It's like just goes like that. You put the oil in there. You can put the popcorns. It pops it out. It's all good, baby.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get my wife one for her birthday.
SoFi. Really? Okay.
One of those.
Up 2.5%. We did see that some of the bank names were starting to go to the high side there. I mean, I'm wondering if this has to do with that potential rate cut possibility all of a sudden. Although the Fed minutes were saying potential rate hikes, but we did see that FOMC board there from the CME, the federal tool there, rate tool, had showed that there was a potential chance for a cut coming up. I don't necessarily see that, but SoFi's big business is lending right now, so I would say that SoFi, although has obviously been really hit to the downside. I mean, I actually, so I didn't buy anything up here, obviously, but I did buy down. I bought 22, wherever that was. I don't know why that came into play there, and then I bought some more at 18. Probably right into here. Or was it right here, maybe? I don't know. And then now it's all, that's not there. It's probably in here. And now it's just straight downside. So we have to just sit on our hands and see if we can apologize for ever doubting SoFi top there, because that really hit back down in. It made a whole bunch of opportunities to get out if you were long. And I was, look, my average price on SoFi, we this was a dollar name. Not a dollar per se, but $5 or $6, something like that, to the downside. Well, that's the very low, but here, if you even come, like, see, 5, 6, 5, 5. So, when SoFi came, this is another one that came to market. You see nice bounce back, and, anyways, we can look at this for a very long time.
But that's where I like this. See how it did that accumulation, made a low, then did the accumulation itself. That's where, to me, that's where you want to pick it up if you like it, when everyone else is accumulating.
Yeah, there's the break of the 50-period rate into there. You probably could have got out around $28, $29, and you wouldn't have to worry about it. And now it's at 15. And I don't know if this looks to me like it wants to go lower, man. I mean, if we had Brian on right now, he would be like, no, this is in the penalty box. It looks like shh.
Same with this too, though.
Fantastic.
Same chart.
Yeah, exactly. Robinhood's also.
Look how identical these are. You could almost overlay them on top of each
I
other.
prefer SoFi long-term than Robinhood. I don't know. There's something about it. And then Webull also, did have a good bot. Whoa. See, this is for, it's 400,000 shares. So, oops, bye-bye. See, so that was called spoofing. So you see, none of those printed, there, or did it? Did someone just take out 400,000 shares? No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
They did not. But they might have taken out a whole bunch. Was that at 99s? I don't know where that guy was. But anyway, I don't see a big, huge print there. So you just saw a huge size there, and then they pulled it. It went up only 1 penny. So that's called spoofing. That is completely illegal. I'm going to phone Donald Trump and tell them that someone's doing illegal trading, and I'm going to see what he says to that. All right, Adara, what's up?
Yeah, let me know if Trump answers that phone call. In the meantime, Google on watch here. GOOGL announcing a new $15 billion investment in building infrastructure in Missouri. This will include a new data center in New Florence, Montgomery County. So GOOGL, that's a capacity agreement here also with Antrim to support developments of more than 500 megawatts of additional power capacity. So Google with some data center announcements to the tune of $15 billion. Back to you.
I didn't realize that was that funny. People actually like that comment there. So yeah, we won't, thank you. We won't be calling the president. We only have a couple people.
Spoofing is only illegal if you are a regular person.
Yeah,
if you're the institutions do it all the time.
Yeah, if you're the government, you can get away with anything, right?
You do whatever you want.
Okay, so that's that. He's also setting up a $1.8 billion fund to pay people that were rioting that day. So that was pretty funny. We'll see if that goes. There's some police officers that are now trying to get that $1.8 billion fund there canceled or whatever. But
call Nancy?
More to that. Yeah, Nancy? No. I got Nancy on a different kind of speaker than that one, man. I mean, Nancy's the hot investor. She's got those hot stocks.
It's not even that you just get a text message, I bought, and then you're good to go.
Oh, that's right.
All you need.
What's Blue Owl? They're not, we can't trade.
The private
Owl, yeah. No, their owner today sold off part of the Commanders.
You can trade them.
$6 billion Washington Commanders. The guy's, one of the co-founders or whatever of Owl was in that, and he sold his stake today at a $6 billion valuation. People bought into the Las Vegas Raiders valuation today at $9 billion. So NFL teams are definitely upside, big time right there right now.
Brady Mendoza effect.
Shout out to our Toronto Tempo. They're winning
3-2.
Some good games there. They won yesterday as well.
No, Brady just keeps winning, man.
Brady?
If Brady gets... But Oakland's been such a... The Raiders have been such a joke that if they get back to a Super Bowl, just like, talk about like proof in the pudding, right? If Mendoza takes these guys to a Super Bowl, that would be intense because they have a long-ass way to go.
Here's something funny that I found. This shows you that looks are not based off genetics at all. Okay, looks is based off money. This is Tom Brady when he was drafted, right? You see that, Adara? So this is what Tom Brady looks like when he was drafted. Right now, he has more hair now at 45 years old, so there we go.
But he also doesn't look like a human at 45 years old. Like, he looks like a little modeled sculpture bot at 45.
So Tom Brady before and after. I'm not going to click this through because I didn't vet it, but this is what it looks like. And so it's
you don't know what comes next.
Yeah, it was just kind of funny there. Now, you can see there's 23 years old, 45 years old.
But there's a better picture of him at the draft. You know the full body one. To give you an idea, the guy he's also in like insanely better shape.
There, this is what I was talking about. It was NFL memes. Okay, so this is what I saw. Proof that you're not ugly, you're just poor. So there it is right there. I mean, check out the Kardashians and all that kind of stuff too. Here we go. These are the Kardashians. You know, this is what they were looking like before they got extremely rich, right there. And then, anyways, I don't know. I'm not going to keep going, but anyways, that's what that was right there. I was watching the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and
I never watched.
Yeah, they definitely. They're prime target number one.
Well, the best is when the way you know is like if you watch the OJ trial, like watch the stuff on the OJ trial.
Yeah, but they were young there though those girls, of course. But
who?
I don't know if you ever seen Kris Jenner, the mom, right now. She looks like different world right now. So okay, yeah, Nvidia's at 223. It's trying to get back to the upside there. As we go. So yeah, that's true. You eat better when you're richer. You have more time to work out. There's a lot of different things about why money is.
That's why people try to compare themselves to professional athletes in terms of like working out and this and that. It's like if a person is getting paid to be at the gym because it's their job, 2-3 hours a day. You know how. You're not competing with somebody who works out 5 times a day for like an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it is. Like there's a certain level, and then on top of that, when it's like an actor, like all the gear that they'll end up being on, which is insane. Like I'm not naming any name, but you see it when it happens. Like you get this person gets a movie role, and then in like 6 months they're like jacked like absolute craziness. Like,
well, you see all the NFL players that retire, then they go out and they lose half their body.
I think that's when it's like a lineman, it goes to show you what those guys do to their bodies. When I saw it was
Joe Thomas.
Like the Kelce's or Joe Thomas, like that guy's a big 330-pound behemoth. And then when he retires, he looks like it's like, wow, you're not naturally that big. Like you had to get yourself that big, which is a grip. He's like normally a quarter of that size. But Nvidia is trying to make a little bit of a move here. So into the earnings, I still think inside move. Even if someone likes to buy it here, 5.5 is going to be that inside move. So call that, I don't know, like $12. That'd be like 235 up top and 211 downside. Like that would be the range to look for on Nvidia.
Yeah.
Just all the burn ones left.
Yeah. You can never do that for me because it's like what I look like when I was poor and what I look like now is the same because still the same poorness, so it has nothing to do with anything there. More poor now, actually. Yeah, much more. Yeah, poorer now, actually. Richer in life, but poorer in finances. Shout out to the two women in my life, of course, as we continue to go on and on and on. Like yesterday, we're at this is my life, okay? Yesterday, I'm there coaching. I've got 13 kids out there. Gia's out there. We're all playing baseball. I'm pitching, actually. I was probably through about 200 pitches yesterday at the kids, doing whatever. I'm also was working with them on their pitching, so on and so forth. Then, we were talking about it was about to rain last night, right? So what wound up happening is our practice ended at 8 o'clock. At about 7:55, this is what I hear. Gia yelling to the guys on the bench, hey, could someone please put my Uggs in my bag so they don't get wet? And I'm just kind of like, okay, so she's wearing the Uggs to the diamond. The diamond's a big mess anyways in the first place. So it's like, there we go. So now we're worried about our Uggs getting some water on them, which would be a very, very bad thing. But but we didn't go to Starbucks afterwards because we had to go home and have
Starbucks, how
dinner.
dare you?
Yeah, we didn't go there. But
you gotta be able to, that's the thing. It's so late when you finish games and practice.
Yeah.
Getting dinner is.
We went and had dinner afterwards, and it was this great lemongrass with chicken and rice. Lemongrass broth was amazing with chicken thighs and rice in this kind of bowl thing. And tonight, my eldest is there, and he had marinating steaks. till yesterday, Marissa went, got a couple steaks. So that's what we're having tonight. He's ready to go on the grill tonight. It's steak night. So we'll see how that goes there. Shout out to my guy Joe over there, who only eats Wagyu steak as we go. But yeah, actually, Joe gave some great recommendations on these meatballs, these Wagyu meatballs. No, were they Wagyu? Maybe they. No, they're not. They're lamb. Veal, this is what I know. Veal meatballs at Farm Boy. They were really a treat. And they actually motivated my wife. She made meatballs I think it was in the week after. So I really appreciate that. Had double the reasoning there to love those meatballs. But Adara, what do you got for us, man?
Also,
only 15
what's going
minutes.
on with Elf? Elf just tanked.
Fall off a shelf?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, they have earnings after the bell today. I haven't seen any news on this. I'm keeping an eye on news for this, but right now, as far as I can tell, Elf just dropping here. Again, if I do see anything, I'll let you know. Sometimes you see these things happen here on ahead of earnings rather. USO, a little bit of a spike lower, though it did pick it back up, and I think partially because a lot of this is retreading of an older story. So we know probably around an hour ago now, President Trump was on a phone call with Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, maybe 2 hours ago now. Anyways, now I'm hearing reports that this letter of intent, which we already heard about, that Trump is trying to negotiate between the U.S. and Iran to end the conflict, would also involve 30-day nuclear talks. So again, Axios reporting kind of an extension of that earlier story about Trump and Netanyahu's calls about a letter of intent. Apparently, this could also include the launch of 30-day nuclear talks. I'll check ELF for you guys right here while we're live, because why not? We are Trader TV live for a reason. ELF down 5%. And last article on this from Benzinga's from 10:40 a.m. I am not seeing anything. If that changes, I'll keep you posted. I'm going to check social media.
I think we missed the super chat from In Yo Guts. In your guts. I just feel like it has to be said that way. Thoughts on Texas Stock Exchange opening soon? I mean, I don't know too much about it other than it's for like IPOs and alternative assets, I think. Something along those lines. I mean, more opportunities is not necessarily a bad thing, but I can't say that I know enough about it. And wasn't it not till next year as well? I don't know if that's yeah. But that said, I don't really know too much about it. But more opportunity can't necessarily be a bad thing. Although when you think about the theme has been opening up more private markets and alternatives, and now tokenization, I feel as if that's going to get cannibalized by all the existing markets anyways. So how much will it end up mattering? Right? We just had the SEC looking into tokenization of regular stocks. That's already a big step. Let's go to Adara.
Talk about this Texas Stock Exchange thing. They have a website, guys. So if I can show this, hopefully. Here's the TXSE, the Texas Stock Exchange. They're basically, I mean, there's not a lot of details here. It's kind of like you've got some stuff on leadership governance. But also, they're talking about the boom belt, which apparently is a center of gravity for American capitalism. Apparently, 1 in 10 public companies in the U.S. calls Texas home. So, yeah, they're saying this is interesting. So I guess more than 1/4 of publicly traded companies in the U.S. are based in Texas, but then they're saying 1 in 10 public companies is based in Texas. Those are two different percentages. I'll have to look further into that. But basically, they're saying that Texas is a large part of the market, so it makes sense they get their own exchange. I'm not seeing a ton of details here, though, in terms of when they're actually going to open. You can apply for jobs here on their website. So if you enjoy looking at websites and brochures like I genuinely do, this is the Texas Stock Exchange. If you just Google Texas Stock Exchange, it's going to be the first result that comes up. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think the more liquidity, the better it is. I mean, more opportunities to, use different gateways and whatnot. I like it. Okay, here we go. Joe's going to be with us here. Options 220, the 29th. So you're talking about 9 days out. So it's going to be like next Friday, I guess. $9.60. Okay, so in order to, just in case anybody's looking at that, in order to break even, it's got to go $9 from here. So you have to go to 233 to break even on that. Yeah, we had said that I wasn't. I mean, that seems to be expensive.
It's barely inside the move.
I just want to say, like, if you're buying options day of earnings, you are going to pay for that volatility. So there's going to be a premium associated with that. So that 960 is probably way too much. But at the end of the day, who knows? We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, there's been times where Nvidia's moved 3 or 4%. I actually gave that stat yesterday or this morning that the last two reports, Nvidia blew out earnings, down 5%, down 2%, down 5%. Then a week later, they were down 7%, down 5%, down 7%. So those were the last 3 earnings calls, and they peaked out at down 7%. So They might not peaked out. That was just those numbers that I was reading there off of Gemini. So I think even with a big beat today, you're still looking at that implied move of 5.5%. If you get a 5.5% move, you're going to be nowhere near that 233, but you've given yourself time. And I think I'm not really an options kind of master or anything like that, but I think that what you're trying to do is time, right? You want to be time into those trades. And you could probably get away with something there on Nvidia over 9 days. I mean, we've seen them really battle back. And just to show you, it was in February. So this is the report here. Nice run into the report. Then it was a flush. And then this one never got back. So a week later, you were dead on that one. And then same thing in November. Here's the flush on that. And then a week later, you weren't even back to those levels again. So
based on the last couple, you really had to wait
Nvidia's on a nice run.
3 weeks or so. It's almost 3 weeks to a month has been when it's bouncing.
Nvidia, the bottom to the top there is what? That's not right. 33%. That can't be right. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna get rid of that one because we go from 170, 166. Oh, maybe that's right. Up to 2. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, so it's up 33% there since April 1st. So we're already on a nice little run there. Asking for 10% more today. Although I think
it made it slow on April 1st.
Yeah, they pretty much did.
I guess everything did. But.
Most of them did there. I mean, remember that April had that epic month. So, yeah, this is March 31st, March 30th, and then there it goes all the way to the upside. That was not exact number. I was just cherry picking that date right there. So, yeah, I would say that's okay. I mean, I don't know. We'll talk about some of those plays there with Joe when we come into the after hours show, which is now in 5 seconds. We will have these imbalances.
FXI was now $2 million to sell. We'll see what it ends up coming out as. Right away, nothing too crazy. FXI is 2.2 million to the sell side. Intel, 1.1 million to the buy side. Poet, 1.1 million buy. There you go. Maybe the long was just late. IBIT, 860,000 to the buy side there. Google, 700,000 sell. AMD, 700,000 sell. Apple, 700,000 buy. These aren't huge at all. And the bigger thing is no Nvidia. No Nvidia on that list. The market is overall 400 million to the sell side. That's what will happen when there's a couple of the Mag 7 that come in as slight sells, right? They kind of skews everything down, but nothing crazy. I guess FXI being that 2 million to the sell side on the FXI. See if that's slight move down. Not much, a little bit.
I'm going to hold out hope that, so I just actually, we didn't have very many shares we were waiting for. IBIT's never really on the imbalances, but because it's a market sell, we'll tap out now of IBIT. We'll keep one more piece until, I was actually offering 44s. It just never, I was trying that again. That never came in. So I'll sit at 98 right now. See if we do get a little bit of a move up. It looks like we just took to 97. We'll sit at 98, get out of the rest of our IBIT. And this one, I said, shout out to Pops Mafia is asking me about the TQQs today. I mean, the bread was buttered early for my account right here. I mean, we hit that IBIT early. We like that call. We wrote it down. It's like whenever I'm putting down something there and the market's not like in a dramatic tailspin or something, I probably will continue to take those trades. So there's 43.50. There's 43.50 again, even better. There, that's 56s or 58s. That's a 54. So that's what we have now, and that was a really good one. And then I didn't even bother to look at the futures because we were watching this Nvidia trade. I was very, very patient waiting for that to break, and when it did, man, we hit it, and the rest is history on that one. That's gonna be my number one P&L name. I actually wind up making about double on the Nvidia trade that I do on the IBIT trade, and then we make about 20% on this Target trade that we made on the Nvidia trade. So that's a good one there. And then Google, same kind of ways, lose about that 20 or 30% there on Google. No, not that much on this move right here, as we were in it to win it, and then it was not a win, and it wound up breaking that low there, downside. Just should have gone short, I think was a lesson that I learned there, because we were talking about that feel that the market was not doing anything too crazy, and Google just kept on, not going up and looking to push lows. So I feel like that trade right there, we could have easily gotten short, especially off this period right there, the 50 or the 200. As soon as it broke down below that, that should have been trigger for me, but missed opportunity there, so that's okay. We won't worry about it, and we'll just say that, hey man, we read the board right. That was a short. I like that call, so yeah, we'll continue to watch it. But there's Nvidia, not doing too much into the close. We did get that move down. The market didn't react to it, so it was probably just someone selling and getting a little bit more into it than Nvidia. So we'll have to wait to see now what's going on. We have Nike and Lululemon and whatnot making moves this afternoon as well. $44, there's up 4%. And then Lululemon, and then we're going to go over to Adara, 124.50. What's up, eh?
Yeah, Nike, I just wanted to mention because Ramin pointed this out today to me off camera when I was eating my lunch. So yeah, I forgot here, but Google actually had a partnership with Nike announced yesterday. So not necessarily why it's moving today, but I think also worth noting, and I have to shout out Ramin. Someone also asked me, what's the implied move on Nvidia? A, you can find it on XTTV Research. I just reposted it. And B, it's 5.7%. But C, I'll always give it to you guys live if I can, because go Trader TV Live.
All right, ABC.
Always get everything you need. I'm going to give Joe, 55 with the imbalances flip. We'll have a quick look at those and then see if FXI does anything, and I'll give Joe a chance to set up so he can get ready for the aftermarket show for sure. I guess it's a decent enough reason as to why Nike was parabolic today, but until it does something different from what we saw, like look at Lulu's chart. Same deal, man. Maybe Nike's looks more programmed because on the 15 it was all green, but sort of the same thing here with Lululemon. So both of these looking pretty interesting. The Beer Man with a super chat. What trading dashboard are you using there? Do you mean you have to? Yeah, everything we show on the screen is going to be P Pro. So if my quote board is that, the imbalance locator is going to be P Pro, more or less. Like that's all we use here at Real Trading. It's proprietary software to Real Trading. Every now and then, I guess like the heat map might get shown, and that'll be. People use TradingView, I guess. But almost everything you're going to see on the screen for us is going to be P Pro. And we can build all the lists that we want.
Here it is right here. If you just joined up, go to realtrading.com. This is the company that I've been with for 25 plus years. Here it is. I just talked about how many traders we have there. So 3.5K, if not a little bit less than that in live. But everything's here. We did talk about anything. Start your trading today. This is a prop firm, so get involved with Real Trading. And this is the thing. I remember showing you the markets, 50 plus markets. I mean, I could call up anything. We have crypto on here as well. Over 50,000 traders. I think I only hired about 45,000 of those. So 50,000 traders have been through this. 10 plus years in business under this name. So we want to say shout out. Oh, and then look, don't worry. There is some. They're going to zoom in. Don't worry. There's Trader TV Live as featured on. Come on, man. I got to figure out who's building this website there. Could it be any smaller right there as featured on Trader TV Live? There should be almost a bigger logo than that. And it's an old logo, so that's pretty hot right there as well.
That's
so big shout out to that one. And if you're worried about it, our platform, there's Learn to Trade, trading. Here, maybe it's under resources. I don't know. There's
I'm going to sign off.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Good luck with.
Good luck on NVIDIA earnings,
yes.
Everybody. Joe's going to take you on to the bridge with Sean.
Good luck to your game. Yep.
It'll be hopefully fun. Good weather for baseball tonight.
Yes, it's always good weather there.
I'll take it.
All right, Joe, have a seat, man. You and I always have a great time, and it's going to be a blast to be here with Joe.
Blast from the past.
Joe, just go around the back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was going.
Yeah, okay. Here we go. All right, so we're going to have a good time, ready to rock and roll right now. So thanks, everybody, for joining us, watching us. And we're going to talk about the NVIDIA earnings. We just got that options play. That seems a little bit expensive to me.
What's that? I didn't see it.
It was paying $9.60 for. It's basically paying 1-to-1. The move is $10. He's paying $10 for it. It was a little bit.
There it was. Options 225, 529. So next week $9.60 upside thoughts.
Because the thing is, it's at 220 now. So it needs to get to $29. So it's a little bit. I thought it was a little expensive. But Nvidia's made a move now up to 223.
Yeah, I mean, so we kind of went over this before. I think it's easier, like when you're buying those at-the-money calls for at $9.60 that expire next week, it might be tougher, right? Because you're paying an increased premium as well, too. And that's why I've been talking, Beerman, about the out-of-the-money play. It costs you less, right? And you have to risk a lot less. You're risking $1,000 on that here. And if we don't exceed that expected move, then you're going to be scratching your head. Just be prepared to get out of them relatively quick if you need to, right? That would be my opinion, but obviously it's your position. You do what you please. I'm in on the 260s. I told you guys this, full disclosure. But I paid literally $50 per contract. And they expire on the exact same day.
It's 100 shares, so.
I bought 2 of them.
260?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I can take this out.
No, so the objective isn't to trade in the money.
Right.
Right, the objective is to just have a volatility, right, and just have time value based off of it.
And what is
I have no intention of the contracts reaching 260.
What is the expiry?
Same thing, the 29th, next Friday.
Yeah, but if it doesn't, Okay, but it only cost you $100.
It cost me $100. I'm trying to collect two things. I don't care about the intrinsic value of it climbing next to above $260. That's not my objective. My objective is for it to have somewhat of a volatility spike and collect the volatility premium priced into the contract.
Right.
And then the time value is.
But if it comes out sort of,
if it's flat,
Blah.
it's dead. If it's
Dead,
flat,
it'll be
it's dead.
0
It's
tomorrow.
It won't be zero, but it'll lose a lot of its value.
Right.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if those contract values, or if it sells off, that it's going to lose 50%. But oh well, so what? You cry home and you lose. You lose $50, right?
I lose $100 a day at Walmart.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I step out of the door and it's $100.
Huh. Yeah.
You know how it typically goes, right?
Exactly how it goes.
So I mean,
Did you get any of this popcorn or?
No, I smelt it when I walked in. You know what I actually did?
Corn popcorn's a tough smell.
It is a very tough smell. I know Ram was cooking that one. You know what I actually did? Because I wanted to catch some fresh air, Katina, man. And I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this, like the Momo trading platform. We don't want to promote anything.
I know it is on Bluer.
Yeah. So I just walked up there to see what those guys had
I'm always going up to
there.
Yorkville. I got to talk to my guy Drake. We got to make some dinner reservations.
Yeah, well, I thought I was going to see him there. So that's why I figured I'd run in there.
Yeah.
Like, did Katina Man tell you about?
Do you want me to let him know that you're
Yeah,
around,
well, I mean, all right.
Okay,
well,
next time just let me know.
Yeah, well, I seen one of his friends while we were up there, and I'm like,
there in Hazleton.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, he didn't really critique. He didn't give you too good of a rating on Iceman and stuff like that. So
Who didn't?
You apparently.
Me? No, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was like it didn't slap the way. The other one, the Maid of Honor. The Maid of Honor is not bad actually. That's more of a dance hall vibe.
Okay.
But Iceman is more rap. That IBIT or whatever is more R&B.
Do you know which one?
Three,
here we go.
2, 1. Here we go. We are now closed as we get ready for Nvidia earnings. Joe, myself, and Adara will take you all into that, so we'll be able to figure it out very, very soon. 4:20 expected.
Sir.
So we're gonna flip around actually once you're logged in.
Exactly. That's
I'll flip around now. We'll throw it over to Adara, and then we'll get locked and loaded here for the closing prints. NASDAQ goes out at 1.6% today, the NASDAQ. The ES up 1% as well. Markets are flying. Bitcoin almost touched 78,000. Let's go back over to Adara, and we'll get this all figured out.
Sounds good.
We're not expecting anything from NVDA here until 4:20 p.m. This visual says 4:30 because initially it was 4:30, but now it's going to be 4:20 p.m. So at 4:20 p.m., what are we expecting? $78.75 billion in revenue, earnings of $170 per share. Last quarter, they posted 73% year-over-year sales growth, data center revenue up 75% year-over-year, GAAP gross margin 75%, GAAP earnings per diluted share $1.76, and fiscal 2026 revenue growing by 65% year-over-year to a whopping fifth of $1 trillion, $215.9 billion. So as I get these results, I will let you guys know. We're going to stay locked, we're going to stay loaded, and we're going to stay waiting for NVDA.
Here. Oh, normally, Ramin, we do have that camera over there so I can actually see if and when I'm on camera. I guess we're on right now. All right, so just looking around, I don't know what's being shown on my screen right now, but NVIDIA 223.69. If we can get that PED turned around, that would be great because right now we are rolling blind on that one. We are going to wait for NVIDIA earnings to come out. We talked about what we were kind of thinking about now on that, and I was just worried about the whole guide. We're a little nervous about the baseline revenue there, 86 billion to 87 billion. We're going to watch out for NVIDIA earnings coming out at $4 or $4.20. Yes?
Yeah, Bloom getting a little bit of a pop here. Nebius and Bloom partnering to power AI infrastructure build out.
Oh, Nebius and Bloom. Okay, we can have a quick little look there. This is amazing because I know you have two screens set up there. I have nothing on this one screen. It's all pure black screen. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's great.
Okay, so we can check out Bloom. Go ahead.
Okay, so when Adara's going to get us those numbers, and I wanted to talk a little bit about NVDA here, guys. So what I've been reading up on is that we know that there's a lot of competition now within custom ASICs. But what I think we're not counting in is that a lot of sovereign nations who are starting their AI build-out, where are they going to go? Because they're not going to be going to Google immediately for their tensor processing unit, the TPUs, or what the Trainium as well too with Amazon. So I think this could be an additional growth cycle for NVDA, especially we had a name this today on today's session moving higher there, Sean, and that was Hive. Hive Digital actually starting a build-out in a data center in in the Waterloo region. So that's a $3.4 billion project. We also have the Gulf states who are starting their AI build-out and want to be a direct competitor with China and not only the United States. And then you have some of the European countries as well too. So the revenue streams, even though there might be heightened competition within NVDA, can still flow in with some of these sovereign nations looking to start their AI build-out and start to play catch-up.
Yeah, I like that. And we just see Bloom Energy here with that little story. They go up to you can check my screen here, 284 right now, closing around 280. We'll get to 284 there on BE. And it was also Nebius, right? NBIS. So let's just have a little look at that chart right now. Not much going on there. It's Adara needs something. What's going on?
Yeah, sorry guys, I have to talk about Intuit because it's tanking. We already heard earlier they were going to be getting that 17% workforce reduction. That is in fact what happens. They do cut their workforce by 17%. Let's talk about the actual earnings here. I'll start with guidance. They're guiding Q4 adjusted earnings between 356 and 362 per share, better than estimates of 315. Guiding fiscal 2026 outlook here, 2380 to 2385 per share here for their EPS. That's above their prior guidance. So they've raised their fiscal 26 EPS guidance. They beat the expected Q4 2026 EPS outlook. Revenue here for the most recent quarter, $8.56 billion, just missing estimates of $8.61 billion. Adjusted EPS, $12.80 per share versus $12.60 per share. Again, that 17% workforce reduction, probably the bigger story here for Intuit.
Yeah, I mean, breaking that 360 on the daily is not looking that great right now, down to 352, as you can see on the screen there, Intuit. Nice downside play there, Joe. And, you know, they're caught in that software thing. Oh, did you file your taxes using TurboTax?
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, we're done, brother. We already collect.
Yeah, that's an Intuit product there.
So there you go. So so what we're seeing here on INTU, guys, is what we would want to see on NVDA, but in the opposite direction, especially if you're a call buyer here. Yeah. So a nice move to the downside, 370 all the way down to 345
This would be like Neil would have to eat pineapple pizza if this happened to Nvidia.
Yeah, well, exactly. So did you guys have a bet going on or something?
He said well, Neil's like self-deprecating. Like he's like, oh, if Nvidia drops 20%, I will eat pineapple pizza. You know, every bet he makes, he's like all about eating this pineapple pizza.
Yeah, so maybe he just wants to eat.
Exactly. See, there we go. There we go. Now we're on to something right now. But yeah, revenue miss, adjusted EPS beat though for Intuit, but they are getting hit to the downside. We could check in on Nvidia quickly. I mean, just to see if anything's going on. We are waiting for that ELF. There's Nvidia right now, 224. So pretty patiently waiting for that number to come through. ELF is now out. ELF did fall off that shelf a little bit earlier, so we can go over. And when Adara gets the numbers, she'll have them. But it looks like the shelf has been rebuilt. As ELF climbing a little bit here, Adara?
Yeah, so ELF actually net sales 35% year-over-year growth to $449.3 million. They're saying that's driven by growth in their retailer and e-commerce channels, both in the U.S. and internationally. So it just seems like everything grew, basically. Good look for them. 140 basis point year-over-year increase in gross margin to 73%. They're saying this is partially offset by higher tariffs, but I mean, still solid number here. And again, up more than 100 basis points year-over-year. Net loss, $49.4 million on a GAAP basis. Adjusted net income, $19.4 million. So they did make money on an adjusted basis. Other income, though, down $1.6 million here. Apparently, this is being attributed to foreign currency losses. So mixed look here for ELF. Generally, though, pretty positive. Again, EPS beat. Now, their guidance going forward here, their guiding sales
is light.
Between $1.835 billion to $1.865 billion. That's going to be basically in line with estimates of $1.866 billion. They missed on the lower end of their fiscal 26 sales guidance. Adjusted EPS for fiscal 26 between 327 and 332 per share, below estimates of 361. So mid to light to mixed guidance here for fiscal 2026. So guidance was an issue, but Q4 revenue not bad here.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty tough here. They're running into some tariff troubles here, guys. 75% of their products actually coming from the United States. But what I found interesting here, Sean, is that it seems like they're targeting the lower-end consumer because 75% also, so 75% of the products coming from China, but 75% of those products are worth $10 or less, which isn't bad, right? Especially if you're trying to sway away from the higher-end consumer and try to grab some more market share against some of its competitors.
We went to Mall of America there, and they had to go into Ulta Beauty immediately. immediately. And it's way easier to spend like $10 a couple times on a few different products than spending that big bang there at a Sephora. But there's a lot of competition there for ELF. But you know, that chart is not looking that good, man. It's well beat up ELF on the daily. We'll see if it comes back. I'm worried a little bit about so that's the bottom right is the daily chart on that one. I'm worried about what you just mentioned there. There's some currency problems and the guide moving forward. You know, just looking at what Nvidia is doing here, we're just going to be moments away for that. It's the whisper number, right? We're looking at it around the street's looking for about 78, about 79 billion. Adara, of course, has a great graphic up there on TTV research, but if they don't get 80 billion, and Nvidia beats 90% of the time.
Yeah.
The whisper number is north of 80 billion. Even though the street is expecting 79 from analysts, I feel that if they get that 80 billion, that should start a little bit of a shoot up right there. What would be awesome would be much higher than that, but there's the sort of the look there from Adara and Jensen, looking for a bigger number there. The handoff between Blackwell to Rubin is going to be very, very important there. This is where we're looking to see, you know, how many sort of customers have converted themselves over into that Rubin and how many are waiting for that to come off. And we talked about that air pocket. Is there going to be sort of a slowdown in current buy waiting for that next big chip as everybody sort of, and TSM is basically committed almost 100% of their production over into their fab for NVIDIA, right?
Yeah.
And so if they can't meet demand at 100% production, then, you know, we got a little bit bigger problems because you can't just make these fabs. That's something where it takes a while to construct.
Years.
So we'll have to wait to see if the Vera Rubin chip is the one.
So what I'm thinking here, Sean, is I don't think the question is, and we had this conversation in the chat, I don't think the question is if they're going to beat, because I believe that's almost inevitable. I think the probability is in the favor that they are going to beat on both the top and bottom line. But I think what the street is really looking for is surprise. How much are they going to beat by, and what is the forward guidance looking like? I think that's going to tell a lot of where the direction of NVDA is actually going to go. And I brought up the fact of, hey, we know there's a growing competition between the custom ASICs chips, whether it be Marvell or Broadcom. They had their investment in Grok with a Q, not Elon Musk's Grok. But also, what is it looking like globally? What are the sovereign nations, and how is that going to affect this stock? So that's what I'm looking for. I do believe that they're going to beat, but the question and what the street is probably looking for is some form of surprise.
I mean, they're not just that chip name, right? They're also they're in that data center. So it's let's see if these data center plays can continue their upside momentum as well. We've seen Micron, SanDisk, Oracle as well in this space trying to get going there, and you know, names like CoreWeave really relying on this kind of a number to come out. So yeah, we're getting ready, man. There's 725 billion spent in capex this year from the big guys. So will that trickle over to Nvidia? It sure as hell should.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what we're waiting for there. You know, the bears keep calling for a slowdown in capex, but what wound up happening is Tesla brought that out. Meta came back through as well. Adara, what you got?
Yeah, I just want to like kind of have a conversation here with you guys about NVIDIA, because there is one thing that was reported today. It was on our Trader TV Live morning watch list. But interesting with NVIDIA, literally the day of their earnings report, you get a report from, I believe, the Financial Times or maybe Wall Street Journal, coming out here and saying, hey, actually, during this trip to China, not only did Jensen not get any more, you know, chip excitement, but they actually have the gaming chips that were made for China have now been axed. So it seems like Jensen maybe was better not going to China. But I think this is a pretty interesting look here. We already know their China revenue was next to nil. Now it's even closer to nil. So yeah, I mean, kind of an interesting look. I do want to.
How nervous are we about Huawei? First of all, I have the point in my ear right now. I want to say thank you to all 9,000 of you. This is one of the largest. Joe, this is a big opportunity.
Super Bowl, and I'm glad we're hitting this home run here. So
yes. Oh, there we go. We have the chat up there right now.
I want to add to Adara's point there quickly, and we'll get back to you. So I read this ban on the gaming chip as well too. But let's get serious. How much of a percentage? Yeah, how much of a percentage does this equal up to its revenue? I understand that they're banning it. It's not good. So therefore, you can't declare any form of China sales. Not like we were really going to do anything that was impactful, anyways. But the situation going on over there between the American chips and China, I don't know. It's not getting any prettier, if you ask me.
Nvidia used to own 95% of that market, and now apparently it's down to 55% because Huawei, we have talked about Alibaba coming through DeepSeek and all that. So they're trying to build out without Nvidia. And that's honestly a shot right at President Trump and their sort of agenda, trying to, and it's not just him, this was the banning of the chips that started a while ago there into China, as we do get worried, of course, about China dominance. We don't want to give all of the secrets over there unless they pay the money, and I think they're willing to do that. So we'll hear if Jensen does talk about that. Adara, I believe it's 5 o'clock is the conference call or so.
It's usually 5. I'm going to double
5 or
that
5:30.
now. It is 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern.
Okay,
And
so
I wanted to add a couple more things. So, I mean, we know that there is no shortage of demand here. Google came out on its reporting, report saying we would have gained more revenue, but we just didn't have enough compute. So if that's the case, and we're really bottlenecking within actual compute power and the demand for these things, I think it's really only going to benefit NVDA at the end of the day.
I mean, we also have CUDA, right? That's their software.
Yeah.
So right now, when you have some of these, big mega cap guys, we talk about the CapEx spend, they've already built. They're starting to build their platforms on top of the software, right? And so it's not that easy. And we talked with Randy about the data centers kind of switching over and using some more AMD power. They're still using NVIDIA, right?
Absolutely.
You can't just, it's not as easy to switch over. This is a play here where we get more excited. You have Anthropic coming to market soon. You have OpenAI coming to market soon. So actually, when they peel back some of their numbers and we start to see exactly what they're spending through CoreWeave, through Nebius, to build out these data centers, to get that compute power, you're going to see some big numbers from NVIDIA on their books. And that's going to be really exciting. And then SpaceX coming through too very, very soon. That's a little bit of a danger. I think we need to have NVIDIA go almost immediately.
Yes.
Because what's going to happen is SpaceX, OpenAI, Anthropic is going to suck some air out of a lot of these bulls because it's going to take some time to evaluate those opportunities. A lot of traders will pull money out of stocks to put them into some of these new names. You see that happen often. I mean, I think when Coinbase came to market, that was the temporary top there for Bitcoin as that started to come back. But you can check the chart. I mean, NVIDIA is just bouncing around. We want to thank everybody for joining us. We're going to be doing this live on all major earnings. So if you haven't bookmarked us, do it right now. And then we're live tomorrow at 8 o'clock as well. Most of these moves will happen now, fine. But then when we come in tomorrow morning, we have no idea really what that's going to react to. We saw ARM. ARM actually, if you come over here, let me show you ARM. If you go over to their daily, hold on, he's got to call it up quickly there. ARM Holdings, what a great day they had today, up that 12, 13%. But their earnings, you can see that sort of, and it's the bottom right, right into here. Their report on the daily, they reached up to 269 that day of their report in the after hours. Neil and I were sitting here watching it, and then opened the next day around 220.
Absolutely.
So it did give back that day. So we'll have to wait to see.
I mean, it's not looking great here. To add to your point, Sean, as well, too, if we talk about ecosystems with the CUDA software system, and we kind of correlate that with Apple, you don't really integrate outside of it. You get stuck within the ecosystem itself. So I think that's going to fall into NVDA's hands as well, too. I know Adara wanted to make a couple of points. We're going on here. But the way the price action here on NVDA is starting to turn out, I'm not in love with it. Sean brought up the point that it's been down 5% on the previous reports. We've kind of gone through that exponential growth cycle already in NVDA. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does stay within that, inside that expected move, which I believe was under 6%.
Yeah, NVIDIA earnings here, guys. ETA. 4:20 p.m. I have to mention that I'm seeing a lot of questions about it, and understandably so. I wanted to go over e.l.f. Beauty earnings a little bit more in depth, because one thing that they're doing that's kind of interesting is they're saying now that we have this tariff rollback, and they're also concerned here about consumers, quote unquote, suffering, of course, due to some high gas prices. How they're trying to mitigate that is they're going to be lowering prices on certain products, and they've already tested it, and apparently it's gone pretty well. They tested a $4 price reduction for their Halo Glow Skin Tint. I guess that was $18. I'm not sure if the $18 was the price reduction or the original price. Regardless, the sales grew by nearly 40% after they did this. So these tariff-related price reductions in terms of like less tariff concerns have actually been helpful for the company. So we'll have to see if that continues, if they continue to lower these prices. I guess they're basically walking back some of the price increases that were related to tariffs, again, due to concerns about consumers having to spend more money on gas. So we'll have to see if that's successful. So far, looks like at least on a purely just tested basis, good look for e.l.f. NVIDIA, again, 4:20 p.m. Eastern. The other question I'm seeing a lot in the chat is the expected move, so I'll remind you guys of that. It is 5.7%.
Yeah, I think how can you make money actually trading this NVIDIA? I mean, I think that's going to be something that a lot of traders are looking and trying to ask us. So, I mean, what about just a break of the high and then you wait to see where we go from there, right? I mean, today's high on NVIDIA in and around that 225 marker, 220, 226 or so. Wait to see if we could take that out. That's going to be a potential play. You know, dip buys into 220, potentially going to get bought up as well into that. But, you know, it's always risky to punch that key as soon as those earnings come out. You know, let the algos get a hold of it. We'll analyze a little bit of those numbers for you, and then we'll be able to see where we go from there. I mean, just a quick look at some of its partners in crime here. AMD 446 right now, going out at having another great day, up over 7%. We can check them out right now. Go over to my screen, you'll be able to see it. AMD there, 446 and just hovering around. INTC, same kind of ways, had a great day up to 118. So most of these big movers, including Marvell today, always going back and forth with NVIDIA. And these are the names that have that opportunity and are either at all-time highs or close enough to it. Look at Marvell's sort of appreciation up there. You can see that it's starting to climb a little bit with less than 2 minutes to go right now. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're back on live tomorrow at 8 a.m. We'll
shout out Obi in the
Obi's in the chat. Okay,
Obi's in
what's
the
up,
chat
Obi?
as well
Oh,
too.
boy.
And I was reading a lot of within the options activity here, guys. I see people talking about it in the chat. But hey, how do you position yourself? What can we do if we're going to use options trade for this earnings report? Well, one, I think one of the key drivers is we are going to want to exceed our expected move in either direction. But the good thing about going straight out flat calls or flat puts is that you're risking only premium paid. So be prepared for any form of direction, but you also have defined risk, which is really important for traders, especially leading into this earnings report. But like we said multiple times, it typically doesn't exceed its expected move and stays within the range here on NVDA.
You know what? I'm gonna step out. I think we are going to get a big move. I think that NVIDIA is ready to go right now. They've, you know, someone's been buying this thing up. We've seen that recent move. It's up 30% since those March lows. I think they can perform quite well here today. The environment seems to be right. We talked about those big CapEx spends, and I feel like the way AMD's been moving, the way Intel's been moving, this seems like it's primed to make a decent move to the high side, and could be completely wrong, but Micron's been holding up, SanDisk has been holding up. We've already talked about Marvell, Broadcom. They're all holding up. They're all waiting for this. And we've been sitting here before, the last couple prints, 5%, 2%, 5%. Let's see a 10% print right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, that would be awesome.
That would be fantastic.
Then all of a sudden, my guy, Wagyu for everybody
Wagyu
on those ones, if that's what ends up happening there. We are now moments away, 2 and 1.
Here we go.
So here we go, man. We will wait to see what's going on with NVIDIA. If and when it comes out. We don't have anything yet.
Lower. There we go. We're
223 to 222.50
I got the
right now
numbers.
coming out. Adara has the numbers. We will parse through them. She's ready to go. Let's go over to Adara.
I am ready to go. Record revenue, $81.6 billion. That is up 85% year over year and well above estimates of roughly $78 billion. Record data center revenue, $75.2 billion, up from 92% year over year. They announced an additional share buyback program. Who are you, Apple? Of $80 billion, guys. They also increased their quarterly cash dividend from 1 cent per share to 25 cents per share. Good look there for NVDA. So again, here's a summary. You've got that 85% year-over-year growth in revenue. Gross margin up only 14.4 points. That could be an issue for the market because we know they love gross margin. They beat on EPS here, guys, 187 versus 176 expected. Net income up 211% year-over-year. Diluted EPS up 214% year-over-year. Their outlook, always important for Q2 2027. NVIDIA, guys, is looking for revenue of $91 billion, plus or minus 2%. Now, again, they posted revenue of $81.6 billion this quarter, so that's a massive sequential increase as well as a year-over-year increase. They are not assuming any data center compute revenue from China in that outlook. GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins here, they're guiding 74.9% and 75% respectively. So good look there for NVDA. If I see any more comments, I'll let you know.
Well, about that Wagyu, maybe it's ramen noodles tonight. There goes 218 right now, and we had mentioned that, right? I mean, if you don't beat an incredible number, which they beat all over the place, man. They also increased their dividend to 25 cents a share. You know, that was 1 cent a share.
I mentioned this earlier. I talked about that this morning, and a lot of people were disagreeing with me on the fact of the dividend. And the fact they're doing a share buyback program and they're increasing the dividend to 25 cents.
So they had a share buyback already. They just increased it to $80 billion.
Well, exactly. They're increasing that. They're increasing both, which I thought would be huge for this stock, but it doesn't seem to be the case right now. You are down to 218 with a low of around $217. Let's see if this can find any form of a move. But I don't know. I feel like we're going to climb back a little bit here. We could totally be wrong and put in a new pre-market low or post-market low there, guys.
Just absolutely beats the whisper number, beats everything outside there. We talked about 80 billion. We're looking for 79 to get 81 and change there on the billion side of things, 81.6 coming through. So it's a big number for Nvidia, but the stock is reacting poorly. Down into 217 right now goes Nvidia. You've broken through that 220 shelf on the daily chart. Now you're looking to get a little bit lower into 216.50. There goes 216.50 right now. Nvidia losing its way, that is for sure, here in the after hours. And I can't really find out what the problem is. I would believe it's going to be the guide. The guide is 90 billion versus 87 billion. Maybe they wanted more. That was that 90 billion number that I talked about. The gross margin, I think, could be a problem.
Massive
it's 75% versus 75%. So, you know, it came in as expected there, the gross margin. So that could definitely be weighing in on this. The data center revenue's higher. Everything looks good to me, Adara. What are you seeing over there?
Well, they also said they're going to be transitioning to a new reporting framework that better reflects their future and current growth drivers. They're going to now have two market platforms, data center and edge computing. Unclear how that's necessarily going to impact things, but if you make changes like this, always could be of note. We already talked here about their guidance going forward, but once again, the GAAP guidance, 74.9% gross margin, non-GAAP gross margin guidance, 75%.
I mean, data center revenue, Adara told us, is up 92% year over year, which is insane.
Up 92%.
Yeah, and the street's selling it up. But see, that's the thing. We can't try to justify what's going on. The surprise wasn't enough. It could be priced in already. We're starting to climb back a little bit here, but I think it's going to be a little bit tougher for this name to recover. It was a beat across the board. Data revenue up substantially, 75.2 billion. So a lot positive for this name, but the street apparently not liking it.
I think that's a buy. I think if you can get anything underneath this 220, I think that's a buy. We talked about buy levels of 220 coming into play. Obviously, it gets down into 216.50 there, but there it comes back up through 221. Wait for the call. Jensen is a Wall Street darling. He is going to know exactly what to talk about. He is going to run this name right back up to the highs of my call. I think you see a 230 print momentarily.
Yeah.
And here it goes right back up to 222 and change. Well, we could check out AMD.
Think about what you brought up earlier today, how we were going back in the previous earnings reports. It's like, okay, you dropped 5% here, you dropped 5% over the past couple. But then what happened right after that? The stock rallies for the next couple of days. So this sell-off, but we're starting to climb back here, pretty aggressive. Maybe they're starting to like that dividend increase, also increasing the share buyback program. Good for shareholders. That's what we want at the end of the day here, Sean.
You do also have a problem also with the dividend, and that is the fact that sometimes when you're a growth company like Nvidia is, maybe they shouldn't be paying a dividend. Keep that cash, reinvest it, figure out what to do on their side of things. But hey, we'll take it from 1 cent up to 25 cents. But with the way Nvidia is moving, I mean, we're moving a quarter right now, so it's that's payable as of June the 26th. So we'll have to watch out for that. ARM, I mean, just let's look. Now, okay, there we go. NVIDIA all the way back, now to 224. So as if none of this ever happened, it did dip down $8 into that 216 level. Here's Advanced Micro Devices. So quick look over there, not much going on. They're kind of at those same levels. ARM has battled back as well. They had a little bit of a dip down into, I think it was 255 or 252, sorry. Nice move down there for ARM. And then Marvell, we can have a double check there. We can look at Broadcom. There's Marvell, 189. So we definitely like the reaction that we're seeing out of Marvell. Marvell didn't even really go down. They're up almost at all-time highs right now of 189 and change for Marvell. And then one more look, and then we'll throw back over to Adara. Broadcom at 417 right now. So, I mean, I guess, you know, Broadcom's getting hit a bit. I'm not sure why that is. And then one more look. Sorry, I know I said last one, but I'm addicted to this stuff. There's Intel right now moving around, but holding the bid as well. So Adara, pretty exciting report.
Yeah, very exciting report. And so I figured out as I was reading through the report to make this infographic, which will be coming out right before the earnings call at 5 p.m. Eastern. Here's the thing, they completely changed the reporting segment. They used to have gaming revenue. I think they realized gaming revenue wasn't doing too hot. So I think they just said, no more gaming revenue. I have to change this again here. It's going to be just data center and edge computing. Only two revenue segments, both of which grew year over year. If you like these visuals, if you like these real-time earnings, please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe.
Yes.
Join us on social media. Join us anywhere. We stream everywhere. Only two reporting segments for NVDA, which I think is kind of manipulative because it gets rid of any concerns with gaming. But yeah, replacing any other segment with edge computing. Used to have 3 reporting segments. Now they only have 2.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and gross margin, as you mentioned here, Sean, gross margins coming in at 74.9%. Street looking for 75, give or take 50 basis points in either direction. I mean, it's not bad whatsoever. So they're still holding on to those margins with growing competition in custom.
Okay, we're starting to get going here. Back up to this. I want to check on Oracle 187 and change because we just saw, and apparently Jensen speaking right now, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Wang just said the build out of AI factories is the largest infrastructure expansion in human history, and it's accelerating at extraordinary speed. So there we go, man. The parts keep going. Oh, you know what? We didn't even look at Micron. There we go. So if we're starting to build out 731 right now.
Just popped up to 225 there.
Yeah, oh yeah, NVIDIA's, I told you, man, we're gonna have a 230 print on that name as we take out all-time highs soon on NVIDIA. Look, man, with comments like that, agentic AI has arrived, doing productive work, generating real value, scaling rapidly across companies and industries. NVIDIA is uniquely positioned at the center of this transformation as the only platform that runs this is from Jensen, that runs in every cloud, powers every frontier and open source model, and scales everywhere AI is produced. So there we go, man. This man is talking up the game as NVIDIA is starting to climb up through 225 right now.
Yeah, absolutely. A big time recovery, guys. And we talked about it. I was hoping we can hit the bang or something along those lines as we start to climb a little bit higher. I mean, that was a big time recovery from a low of around $216, climbing all the way back up to $225 plus, guys. So not too bad of a look there.
Can you imagine 91 billion in quarterly revenues is what they're expecting?
Well, that's insane.
91 billion?
That's an insane number. And I don't know if you remember this during his keynote. Remember, this guy's talking about $1 trillion full year. Right?
Yeah, well, puff, pass.
Well, that's quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that,
that's on some ayahuasca stuff.
Well, hey, man, we'll let them smoke it up because.
I mean, the stock is smoking right now, up to 226 and going higher right now. Again, thank you everybody for watching, man. It's been an absolutely banger of a report. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. No Brendan, no problem. No Neil, no problem. We're here, man. You've got the three of us taking you into this earnings report. Now there it is, 226. There we go. Getting a little bit higher. We want to thank Obi for joining us in the chat as well. There goes Obi. Boom. Everyone always, hey Obi, man, everyone's asking about you. Man, step through here one afternoon and have a look at that. We'll kick Neil out of his chair. Don't kick me out of my chair there as well. Yes, you're right. Sharif, shout out to Westermeyer there. Sharif used to wear a leather jacket on NVIDIA earning day.
I remember that.
Stole one off of one of the trainees on the floor, Harrison. He said to him, I think the exact words were, "You have a leather jacket. You know who else wears a leather jacket? A man named Jensen Huang."
Right.
So this was a real conversation that I overheard, but it worked.
226 and change.
There we go, man. We called 230. We'll see if we can get up to there as well. And by the way, Micron now 735 and rocking higher. There's no stopping anything right now. This is maybe, I don't know what inning it's in right now, but it seems to be pretty early for a lot of these names. There it is, man, 226.50. There goes Micron, since you're on my screen again, 735 and change. We're trying to go higher through Micron. SanDisk, probably higher as well. Right now, 1,400. Now, not moving too much for SanDisk, but the story is NVIDIA earnings. We want to say thank you to Jensen and company as we're now. This is without China. You know, we just pushed 227 there without China. So, you know, if that ever comes on board and we can get something done with that, Mr. Trump, then maybe China comes to the rescue here and gets this name up to your 250 levels. So maybe it's not ramen tonight, maybe it's not Wagyu, but it'll be something. We're excited for that 5 o'clock call. Veal. So, yeah, veal. Yeah, man. Make a little mix there in the meatball.
You know what I mean?
I'm all about that.
NVDA is stating that Vera Rubin is on track for the second half of this year, starting in Q3.
So no slowdowns expected there.
No slowdowns there.
All right, Adara, wrap this thing up.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for being here with us. I love being here with you guys. If seeing us live here isn't enough, you can always check us out on X at TTV Research, posting live updates. That earnings call is at 5 p.m. Eastern. I will have that revenue visual for you guys coming out at 4:58 p.m. Eastern. But in the meantime, it's 4:31 Eastern. We have to let you go. So hit the like, hit the subscribe. Sayonara. Ciao.
Tomorrow, 8 a.m. We'll see you then. Get a good night's sleep. Let's go.
Oh, I said, yeah. Like and subscribe, guys.
There you go.
I said it so many times.
Yeah, I know. I tried to put it in my ear.
No, I think I...